Sleepy town settling for the night, where the Owens women live their lives, and it's about time that the back porch light comes on at that house down the street, at that house on Magnolia Street.
Hey girl, hey.
What up, witch?
What's up?
Good morning.
Dude, have you ever had everything bagel seasoning?
I don't think so.
It's freaking amazing.
You've told me that for months. I don't know what else I'd put it on besides the bagel.
Yeah, I don't know. Just pizza? I mean, no, not pizza. Toast?
Pizza.
Why did I say pizza? I would not put that on pizza.
Pizza.
I meant toast. I was thinking of pizza though.
But do you put butter on it or anything?
Yeah. Or
Oh.
cream cheese. Cream cheese is really good.
I'm gonna rosemary the fuck out of my little tent because I heard rosemary is good for the
Oh.
throat chakra.
There you go.
I'm just opening the notes now. Awesome. I'm gonna make them bigger. There we go. There we go. I can have my Gucci on.
All right.
Louis Vuitton. Dude, this is like my 4th cup of coffee.
Oh my God. That's what I hear in the bathroom.
Nothing's happening.
Oh no.
All right, man. What?
We're up to $2 in ad revenue.
I saw that. That's so exciting.
Nice.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. We could buy a light bulb.
We
Maybe
could
one-
buy something off of the dollar menu. We could buy something for you and something for me.
Is coffee worth $1 anymore? Or is it like more than that now?
Even at the gas stations, I'm sure it's more than $1.
What can you get for $1 now?
You know
A
what you could?
McChicken.
Yeah.
I think McChickens are still $1, right?
Aaron and I started this list of things, like bulk things you can get for super cheap. And
What?
girl, have you ever bought a pack of hangers? You can get like 40 hangers for $3 or something.
I'm buying them at the wrong spot because I think IKEA still charges like fucking $20 a pack for a pack of
Fucking
hangers.
IKEA, yeah.
Or maybe maybe $5, but it's definitely more expensive than $1.
I'm thinking Walmart, like
Yeah.
quality.
Those like really plasticky ones.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. My hanger standards are too high. I was thinking of the ones.
No, I'm thinking the ones that snap if you look at them wrong. Try to put them in a sweatshirt. I can't even hold up my cloak.
Oh my God. Yeah, my hanger standards are too high. I'm like, wood only.
My mom has the super nice, like not velvet, but the clothy ones.
Oh, I've seen those. Those are nice. And
What is your coffee? A macchiato?
Yeah, it's like I guess they rolled out some new flavors for the fall, and one of the new ones was I think apple crumb or apple crisp.
Ooh,
Oat milk macchiato. It's really good.
that sounds good.
Toasty.
I don't know how you don't have coffee in the house. You got to set a reminder for yourself to go pick some up on the way home from work today.
You know what? Avi even went to Costco, I think 2 nights ago, and it wasn't on the list. I guess we thought we had more downstairs because we have a fridge downstairs.
Oh,
and,
nice.
And it's gone. So he forgot to get that. So that's definitely gonna be on the next shopping trip. Oh, and then okay, I can't trust my husband to go to the store by himself.
You are not alone.
Listen to this shit. So he goes, he was gonna go to BJ's because that's where they have the cold brew, right? The cold brew that we like.
So tell our listeners what BJ's is because we don't have them here. And I was like, the fuck are you talking about?
Oh, okay. So basically it's just like a wholesale store, like a Costco.
Costco?
Or
Okay.
a Sam's Club. It's just a different one. So we have a BJ's here. So we usually get that's what is it? The Stoke cold brew, and they have those at BJ's. They do not have them at Costco. So I don't know why he decided to not go to BJ's and he went to Costco. And then when he got to Costco, he realized that they didn't have the cold brew there. So there was nothing else for him to get at Costco. So I guess for him and his make the trip worth it, he went to the food court because you know how Costco has the food court. He went to the food court and he got a hot dog and a churro. He came home. Okay, I'm talking about like this is dinner.
Picturing him walking through the door, one in each hand.
This is dinner time. Okay, he comes home and he's got a hot dog in one hand and a churro in the other, and he's like, I didn't get the cold brew, but I got these, and I'm like, what the? It's dinner time. What the fuck are you? was eating a hot dog, and then he was like, "Do you want this?" And normally, I would so go ham on
Be
a
all
churro.
over it.
But I was like, it's dinner time, dude. So I was like, no, I don't want it right now. So he puts it in the microwave because we have to store things. We have very limited counter space
And you can't keep shit on the counter because your cat.
We can't keep shit on the counter because Punky will eat it. So I opened the microwave before to heat up my coffee, and the churro was in there, and I was like, oh, it was like hard. It's hard as a rock now. So now waste. So that's like, I'm like, dude, I can't let him go shopping by himself because he just buys stuff that goes to waste because people forget to eat it.
You couldn't have put like a little damp like towel under, like a paper towel, and he warmed it up. I don't know if that works.
Yeah, probably. It's still in the wrapper.
You were not invested.
Yeah, I was not invested. I just put it back in the microwave and I was like, I'll deal with it later. But anyway, that's my stupid story. We can get to
my husband. He gets overly excited about, because he doesn't cook often.
Okay.
But like he'll like get excited about grilling, or if like his family's coming to visit, like they're coming for Thanksgiving, and if he has like a project, like a cooking project, he goes for just that and forgets all the other shit we need throughout the week. So we had like a taco, he went fishing. He went like deep sea fishing with his work a while back, and he caught like a fucking wahoo and some other fish. Anyway, got it processed, super stoked to do fish tacos, goes to the store, gets the fish taco stuff. We have the fish taco night. It's awesome. And then like nothing the rest of the week. His family's coming for Thanksgiving. And he was like, hey, I ordered, because we have been doing steaks for our Thanksgiving, because it's just us for the last 2 years. So he's like, I ordered steaks. I ordered like brats and something else. He's like, could you pick up the order from the butcher? I was like, sure. And then I was like, kind of sat him down. I was like, did you have to buy food for the rest of the time they're here, like the breakfast stuff? And like, he's like, yeah, I know, we'll have to go grocery shopping. I was like, no, you go grocery shopping. He just gets real excited about the one meal and forgets about everything else. That's my story.
Oh, boys.
Can y'all hear the coffee today in my voice? It's loud in my mouth.
Loud in my mouth.
It feels loud in my mouth.
Eventually we'll get to the topic we're supposed to be talking about. But wait, but your fish story reminded me of another Avi story. He went fishing with his friends once, right? And he calls me, or he texts me. He's like, I caught something, I'm bringing something home. I'm like, oh cool, awesome. He brings this thing home. I don't even remember what it's called, but it's basically like a bottom dweller, like a catfish, but it's not a cat, like a mud skipper or something that like people don't eat.
Okay.
And he brought it home.
Oh, so proud.
And I think you could eat it, but like people usually don't. But like he brought home the entire fish. Okay.
Oh, not like cut up or anything.
Yeah, nobody prepared it for him on the boat.
So
he just brought this fucking huge fish home in a cooler. He was like, I guess I could find like a YouTube video how to cut it up. And I'm like, you're not cutting that fucking thing up.
I'm trying to look up why you're not cutting that thing up.
It sat in the cooler for like the whole night, and I was like, you need to figure out what you're gonna do with that, because that's gonna smell. It's gonna start stinking. Yeah, he fucking threw it out because he's like, I'm not gonna cut it up.
Aw. So, I was trying to look up what the fish might have been called. Go on.
Something like a sea robin. I think it's a sea robin.
Oh, I've never heard of that.
It looks like a catfish, kind of.
Sea raw.
Yeah, but like people don't eat them apparently. But
they're like the flying fish. They look like they got wings.
Yeah, they're fucking ugly as hell. But he was like, yeah, we're gonna eat. I'm like, no, I ain't eating that.
It says meet the sea robin, a fish with legs and wings. Oh, it like creepity crawls itself along. Like, have you seen a video?
It's a bottom dweller. Yeah. So he brought that thing home in a cooler, and I'm like, what are you doing?
Dude, that's one thing. Like, I'm good like prepping any meats. Chicken's fine, pork's fine, beef, whatever. Fish, I don't want to touch. I just think like the skin, because when I was about 8, we went to Croatia for about a month, and my grandma, super old school, they do it all themselves. They know how to do it. And we had caught fish because there's fishery lakes, and just watching her take the scales off, like gives me all over body chills, and I want to shit myself. I hate it. I hate it.
I want to shit myself. I am with you there. The furthest I'll go is like a shrimp like
Yes.
deveining and peeling the tails off of shrimp, or
Yes.
like I'll make like a frozen fish or even fresh fish that you get from the, I guess, the butcher or whatever.
That's
But
already done up.
that's already done up, right? But
Yeah.
like I'm not about to like go to town and butcher up like a whole fish fresh from the ocean. Like
No, thank you. No, thank you.
So we threw it out. Poor little skipper.
Poor little Skip.
But I was like, don't ever do that again.
Get it processed on the way home. Ask your friends. Ask the boat captain. He probably knows. Brandy.
Yeah, ask Samuel Diaz.
Samuel Diaz.
Samuel Diaz.
Awesome, dude. Well, should we do this thing? Or are we going to try to?
Yeah,
This is our first
yeah.
character analysis episode.
Yeah, all that stuff we just talked about, that could be a whole bonus episode. We don't have to put all that
No,
in.
it's going in. It's going in.
I know. All right. I know sometimes people are like, where's the content? I didn't come here for this stupid ass talking.
I don't know how to put in timestamps on our like descriptions. If I knew how, I guess I can figure it out this episode, but I'll do that for folks.
All right, cool. Yeah, okay, yeah. All content starts at this time marker. Everything before that is just husband bullshit.
I feel like there were so many like little announcement thingies I wanted to do. I hope everybody's just enjoying the memes that we've been sharing. We haven't recorded in a while. We did a live right before our episode 1 came out on Halloween, and just kind of let everybody know what to expect. But since then, we agreed that we weren't going to record another episode until this is even early. We were going to wait till the middle of November, but we couldn't wait. Fuck it. That's how I'm feeling today. I wanted to tell you, I'm in a fuck it mood like you were yesterday. For the
Oh, yesterday I fucked the whole world. So sorry, everybody. If you felt a little bit of fuckage, that was me.
That was her.
We have some Patreon shout out, right?
You are so tired. So we have people who are paying us now.
Can I just say that at the time of recording this, we're on Tuesday, November 8th. We're coming up off the heels of that like wicked ass blood moon lunar eclipse. I don't know about you, but it drained the shit out of me.
Yeah, I'm tired today. Wasn't it like the peak was yesterday? Is that right?
I think so.
Yeah. Oh, wait. It says it's 100% right now.
Oh, okay.
Full moon in Taurus. Yeah.
All right, there you go.
Do you know what the nadir is? Nadir? Nadir. Is that like its peak?
Maybe. I don't know.
Full moon 6:02 a.m. was its peak, I guess. There you go.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Then I guess like the anticipation of it was what was draining then.
It was just pulling you. It was like
yeah. Like that waxing energy was so hard. And I'm sorry, Kristina. Yesterday, I was just like complaining and bitching every 2 minutes. Every time I markered you, I was like, I don't want to do this.
That's okay. You get me today. You get me today. But I'm excited to talk about Sally because she's just such a like archetype for natural witches. And she has it all. And she goes through it all. But yeah, we're gonna talk about Sally a little bit today. And we're gonna make this a little like series for the foreseeable future. We're going to do the main characters, but later down the line, we might pull from the other books and do some of the side characters. But right now we're going to talk about Sally. But before that, Justina, take a sip of your coffee.
Oh,
We're going to try to do the patron shout out again.
All right. So yes, Patreon shout outs.
We're going to have a Patreon shout out. Go for it.
So we have Anna K, Myers, which I think Myers is from Australia. I'm not 100%. And I Heart Practical Magic came from I Heart Practical Magic.
Guys, thank you so very much. It's awesome to get to know everybody, like kind of not in close quarters. What am I trying to say? It's more intimate because they get to see some of the goodies on Patreon and the private Facebook group and the Discord group. We now have like all these fun channels that we are putting stuff in. By the time y'all hear this, we've done the Practical Magic House episode. So we got channels like Victorian architecture porn. We got our memes. The patrons get a preview of the show transcript about 3 or 4 days before anybody else. So a lot of fun stuff happening over there. We just want y'all to know we're going to be having like once a month lives in the future over on the Patreon. So come and join us and get to know us a little better. And we would love to get to know you too.
Yeah, that'll also give us a chance, I think, to be more current with what's going on in that very week because our Virgo asses record so far in advance. We just want to have our ducks in a row and have content ready to put out for you guys every single week because like we said before, we both work jobs, so it's hard for us to do it otherwise.
So Anna K, Mears, and Kim from I Heart Practical Magic, thank you so much. We appreciate y'all.
Yeah. So Sally is played by none other than Sandra Bullock in the movie, and her nickname is Sal, as deemed by Jillian.
Sally to me was she's like witch goals to me. I'm still trying to grow my hair out to like her length, because when I see her digging in the garden, there's like from behind, when they're filming her from behind, her hair is like down to her ass crack, and that's what I want.
When I was like 18, my hair actually was down to my ass crack like that. I was like, I grew my hair like it just grew like on its own, and I didn't have to take supplements. And now, like, you know, when you're that young, you kind of take for granted when your hair is popping, your eyebrows are popping, like, popping. Your nails are popping. Yeah. Everything grows as it should. Like, you don't really have to try when you're that young, and your hormones are like going crazy. But I guess all the dyeing that I did to my hair since then, it's just like, you know, it's not the same. So if you're a young spring chicken, do yourself a favor and stop dyeing your hair, stop doing shit to your eyebrows. You're beautiful as you are. Because now I regret it. I'm like, oh, I had the Sally hair. Yeah. So I started with like magenta box dye, and then gradually from there I was like, I need highlights, and then from there I was like, I need to bleach it, and then that's when I was like, man, fuck you. No. And then now it's like very thin. It's not brittle, but it's just like, you know, not what it used to be. And it doesn't.
Mine's dry as shit. Yeah, me too, man. It sucks. And I like to be transparent again. Hey, I bought Rogaine and I've been putting it on my eyebrows and that shit's working. Also, I forgot to tell you, I made some rosemary oil. It's sitting in the cabinet. Just y'all, if you have some fresh or even dry rosemary, stick it in a jar with olive oil. Shake it up, leave it in your cabinet for like 4 weeks, and then just rub that shit into your scalp. So I'm going to try that. But I'm just finding like I shed like crazy. How long ago was it? You knew me when I cut off all my hair. I had super long hair and I chopped it all, donated like 13 inches, shaved my sides, had like the greaser haircut, and that was years ago, and still trying to grow it back out, but it doesn't grow as fast. As it does in your 20s. So maybe Sally is down with that rosemary oil. I bet you she is. I bet you she does that regimen every single freaking night. That's why I bet you. Gorgeous. Yes. Yes. So some physical information about the character Sally. I don't know if they're pulling any of this from the Sandra Bullock or not, but the height they have listed is about 5'7". It's taller than me. You're little too. You're in the little club. I am pint size. How tall are you? I'm 4'11". I'm Shakira. I'm 4'11". You're so thin. Yeah, that's why I have such small feet. You do. It would look really dumb if I was like 4'11" and had like size 8 feet. 5'7" is tall to me. I'll see girls out that I think are short, and I'm like, Aaron, look how small she is. And he's like, you're that height. You're that size. I think I'm about 5. I say I'm 5'4", but I'm more like 5'3". That's like average. Right? To me, that's average, but apparently not. 5'5", 5'6", I thought is more average. No, I thought 5'5", 5'6" is tall. It is tall for us. Because I'm 4'11", so I'm definitely below average. Anything above 4'11" is like anything above 4'11", because like I'm really small. So when I'm looking at a 5'5" person, I'm like, wow, you're fucking tall as fuck. Can't wait to pick you up and put you in my pocket. Anything below that is like average to me. So in the book, we kind of went over this in the book versus movie thing. In the book, her hair is black. In the movie, Sandra Bullock has brown hair. Her eye color in the book is gray. Sandra Bullock's eyes are brown, and she has fair skin. Does Sandra Bullock have fair skin? Hers is more olive, in my opinion. But you think so? I don't know. Nicole Kidman has fair skin. Oh yeah, Nicole Kidman definitely has fair skin for sure. So at the time of the filming, Sandra Bullock, who played Sally Owens, was 34. So there's a little bit of family information here. We really cover all of the family members and a bunch of our other stuff. This might seem redundant, but to lay it all out, we want to get at some point, I think we want to do a family tree kind of piece visual piece.
Yep.
But as we know, Maria Owens is the original ancestor. And we also have Frances and Bridget, who are her aunts. Vincent, who is her grandfather. April Owens, who is her grandmother. Vincent and April are cousins. What you said, like 3 times removed, something like that.
Yeah.
Regina is Sally's mother. Daniel is the name of her father. We know Jillian as her sister, and Antonia and Kylie are the daughters. So we have in the Practical Magic movie, we see her get married to a man named Michael Bailey. I think his last name is Bailey, right? Michael Bailey. Michael dies, unfortunately, and then she meets Gary, who is a police officer from Arizona. Here's a big spoiler, guys. In the last book, Gary dies. Sorry, everybody. And then
You really dropped the bomb there. Gary dies.
So I want to talk about that in a second, but and then she meets a man named Ian Wright. I think he's from the UK, and they get married. And the date is June 1st. Wednesday, June 1st was their wedding date. So here's my thought.
I know nothing about Ian because I didn't get that far.
Ian.
The last book yet. So
okay. That's all I have written down for him. But here's my thought, which I should have said in the Death Watch Beetle episode, is like, is it the curse or is it just death? Like,
right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, was Gary taken by the curse? In the book, he says that he had like a congenital heart disease of some kind. Like that could have been before he even met her. You know, it's just, it's not as convenient, I think, as we think it is as a plot point. So by the end of the 4th book, she's married a 3rd time to Ian Wright. But in the movie, we see her working at an apothecary store that she opens called Verbena Apothecary. In the book, we discussed a couple episodes ago that she is the secretary at her daughter's school.
Sally is known for, and this is all in the movie, these powers and abilities.
Dude, I don't know. I copied this from Wiki.
All right. I'm gonna guess that this is all from the movie because I think we discussed in the book we didn't really see any
yes
powers. But when I was doing some research for this episode and I was skimming through Rules of Magic, she actually does have a little bit of a special gift that I think was overlooked in the initial Practical Magic 1st book. So we'll get to that a little bit later on. So in the movie, we know that she has the powers and abilities of spellcasting, the act of changing or controlling events or people through the use of magical means. She's also, did we know in the movie? Oh yeah, I guess she was into the potion making when she did her Amos Fidita spell when she was a child. But I think that was the last time we really saw her physically doing any kind of like spell or herbal work, right?
Unless you consider like the process of making the bath oils and soaps and lotions.
Yeah, you're okay. Yeah, okay. So we'll consider her actual job and her career. That's what she did. She's an apothecary. She owns her apothecary shop. Then we have pyrokinesis, which in the film, Sally is shown lighting a candle by blowing onto the wick. So it's kind of like a backwards deal. Her and Jillian have this kind of like unspoken sisterly mind reading bond. Like they know when each other is falling. Even when they do their little blood, what's it called? The blood bond.
Blood oath.
The blood oath. Yeah. From miles away, they both can kind of sense when each other is touching their scars, right?
She also kind of has it with her daughters, after like the interrogation with Gary, and she's walking back and she's Mommy. And she hears that and she's like, oh, fuck. She takes off running.
That's right. I totally forgot about that. So maybe it's just like a blood.
What's that called? Like a sense, like a sixth sense, a knowing.
Right. I don't know.
What the hell's that called?
That wouldn't be.
Claircognizance?
Claircognizance, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll go with it.
Maybe also a little bit of clairaudience because she heard her kids calling her, right?
There we go.
Mommy.
Count it. Oh, that would be creepy as fuck.
Right, yeah. So she's got the claircognizance, clairaudience. Would we say she has the clairsentience? Does she feel anything?
I don't think so.
Maybe would we consider the scar on the palm clairsentience?
Dude, what a cool, like, it's like one of those bracelets that when you touch it because you miss somebody and they light up, it's like ping. Ow, my scar hurts.
I have seen those. Those are adorable.
It's like Harry Potter's Horcrux scar thing.
Is that what it does? He could.
Oh no, like whenever, like, it doesn't it like end up hurting him when Voldemort's near or something like that?
Yeah, something like
Okay.
that.
I thought you were a Potter person. I'm not.
I am not as well versed in Potter. I've read the first book. I saw the first like 2 movies, and then I fell off after that. They're just
Okay. Okay.
just a long series. It lost my interest. I don't know.
Yes.
And then the telekinesis, which she can move objects with her mind, like the stirring of the coffee.
What
And
else
then
does she move with her mind? Can you recall? She just uses it for such practical shit. She's just stirring away.
Yeah, and I know that we touched on she has the connection with the leaves and being able to float the leaves up to the sky when she kind of has something to
And the petals. It's like her message. That's her like smoke signal.
Yeah, she just sends it out into the ether, and she kind of just has this inner knowing that it's going to take its course and it's going to follow through with what it's supposed to do.
Awesome.
So those are her
Awesome.
powers and abilities. And like I said, there was some stuff in Rules of Magic that we can get to. We can either talk about that now, or we can get to it a bit later as we go through the book descriptions. What do you want to do?
Let's hit it when we get to the book description. So right now we're going to hop into the 4 books, and we kind of just pulled from our Kindles, I think, the more descriptive things that talked about Sally. And I guess we'll go through practical magic first, since everybody knows that, but not everybody reads the book. So the following are going to be a few excerpts from that book. I guess I'll take that one, so then you can talk about rules of magic. Cool.
Sure. Yep.
Here we go. And Kristina tries to read out loud.
Oh God, here we go. Cleopatra.
Here we go. Okay. So Sally's hair was as black as the pelts of the ill-mannered cats the aunts allowed to skulk through the gardens and claw at the draperies in the parlor. So there's her black hair. Sally, 397 days older than her sister, was as conscientious as Jillian was idle. She never believed in anything that could not be proven with facts and figures. When Jillian pointed to his shooting star, it was Sally who reminded her that that what was falling to Earth was only an old rock, heated by its descent through the atmosphere. So she's a lot like Aunt Frances, and Jetty is not so much, but Aunt Franny's really into science. Sally was a take charge sort of person from the start. She didn't like confusion and mess, both of which filled the aunt's old house on Magnolia Street from attic to cellar. And most of this is when she's younger. Did you want to comment? Sorry.
Yeah, I was just going to say that even, I guess, as a kid, she was just a very practical person. Like, Jillian was more into, I'm telling you, Jillian's a Sagittarius. She's got to be.
Sally is an earth sign, 100%.
I know. I'm convinced Sally's a Virgo, and we'll talk about that a little bit later on. I think that she just has to, she doesn't know how to relinquish control, and she doesn't like that certain things she can't really control. But I don't know, Jillian just seems so much more philosophical and like you could just tell that Jillian has this, like, I don't know how to explain it, but I kind of see it in myself, like this thirst for like otherworldly kind of knowledge, like, and Sally's just very like by the book. So I just think it's funny how even in the book as a kid, Sally is so, no, it's not a shooting star, it's a rock.
It's a rock.
Like she's
that's interesting that you connect with Jillian on that level. Jillian to me is like air, like just blue, just outer space, just out there.
I see a little bit of a fire in her too, and I guess because Sagittarians are so flighty and they're very spontaneous, and Jilly is also very spontaneous.
Yes.
I think she probably has a little sag in her chart. She probably's got a little fire in her chart too, or maybe a Gemini or something. But Gemini's an air sign, right?
Yeah.
So I kind of like see a little bit of both for her. And then Sally, I'm definitely seeing maybe more water, more earth. So yeah, their duality is just a very interesting dynamic.
Very balanced. I can't wait to get into their astrology signs.
Yeah, me too. That's gonna be a whole other episode. All right, go on. Read the next.
All right. So it says, Sally was the one who cooked healthy dinners of meatloaf and fresh green beans and barley soup. Oh, barley soup right now sounds so good. Using recipes from a copy of Joy of Cooking she managed to smuggle into the house. She fixed their lunchboxes each morning, packing up turkey and tomato sandwiches on whole wheat bread adding carrot sticks and iced oatmeal cookies, all of which Jillian tossed in the trash the instant after Sally had deposited her in her classroom, since she preferred the sloppy joes and brownies sold in the school cafeteria. Are you a fan of sloppy joes? I am not.
It depends on what kind of sloppy joe, because there's different versions of the sloppy joe. Did you know that? Okay, so there's that like meaty meat sauce kind of sloppy joe that like you would get in a school cafeteria that they slop like just like on a hamburger bun
with like an ice cream scoop.
Yeah, exactly. And then the other kind of sloppy joe, I think it's like kind of like a corned beef, like a Reuben or something like that. And it's got like the coleslaw on it and like I think Russian dressing. I think that's also called a sloppy joe. So I guess it depends.
Dude, that sounds better. Way better.
Yeah, it does. So I guess it depends on where you're from, like what you would consider a sloppy joe. But I'm definitely picturing the meat slop.
Yes, I am too. Give me 1 second. I want to look something up for the next quote. Un momento, por favor. Actually, I can read it first. So I had written a note in my Kindle for this next one, and I don't remember what it was. So I was trying to open the Kindle app to see. But the quote is, she wore dark clothes and tried not to be noticed. She pretended she wasn't smart and never raised her hand in class. She disguised her own nature so well that after a while, she grew uncertain of her own ability.
What are you looking for?
Yeah, I don't know. I was looking for a highlight. How do I do that? My notes. Do you take notes in your Kindle?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you do. Show notebook. Oh, here we go. Oh, never mind.
What?
Never mind. All I wrote was my life story.
What?
That she never raised her hand and never, she grew uncertain of her own ability.
My life story.
All right, let's keep going.
Okay.
Sally dreamed of ranch houses and white picket fences. I was thinking of ranch, like the dressing. Oh, I'm so hungry.
Kristina's like ranch dressing, my life story.
When she woke in the morning and looked out to see the black metal spikes that surrounded them, tears formed in her eyes. It was Sally the aunts brooded about. Sally, who cooked nutritious meals every night and watched up afterward, who did the marketing on Tuesdays and hung the laundry out on Thursdays, so the sheets and towels would smell fresh and sweet. The aunts tried to encourage her not to be so good. And then when we do the Jillian episode, we'll see the contrast. And this is the last one I have for you from Practical Magic. This is not to say that Sally didn't try her best to fall in love. She was thoughtful and deep with amazing powers of concentration, and for a while she accepted offers to go to movies and dances and take walks around the pond down at the park. Boys who dated Sally in high school were astounded by how long she could concentrate on a single kiss, and they couldn't help but wonder what else she might be capable of. 20 years later, many of them were still thinking of her when they shouldn't. But she had never cared for a single one of them could never even remember their names. She wouldn't go out with the same boy twice because, in her opinion, that wouldn't be fair. And she believed in many things like fairness back then, even in matters as strange and unusual as love. Love. There you go. Woo!
Right. Yeah, woo! Huh, that was a doozy. No.
Sorry.
It's all right.
I make it fun.
It is fun. Cleopatra. All
Cleopatra.
Right. So rules of magic. So Sally and Jillian were 13 months apart. All right. So if that random person on Wikipedia or Wiki, whatever that wiki site is.
So then
they must both be
Scorpios.
13 months apart.
But so then Jillian would be in November, end of November, early December baby.
When does
that Capricorn?
No, Sagittarius.
You were right.
Yeah.
Look at you. Yeah, your birthday's coming up.
So they were 13 months apart, as different. Okay, what? As different as chalk from cheese?
Alice got creative in this book.
As different as chalk from cheese. But best friends all the same. A good thing, for there were no other children for miles. The girls liked to climb trees surrounding their house and often had tea parties with their stuffed animals aloft, using the branches as the table and chairs. When they concentrated, they could make the wind come out of nowhere and shake the branches, and then they would laugh and hold on for dear life. Sally would open her hands, and birds would come fly to her as if they'd been called. And Sally was stubborn and not afraid to talk back. So here's where I kind of skimmed a little bit through rules of magic and kind of picked out things that I kind of acknowledged or kind of like took note of. So Regina, their mother, in Rules of Magic at the end describes how Regina wasn't worried about Jillian, who loved to walk on a tightrope between the trees, but cautious Sally was another story. So even as a child, she erred more on the side of caution.
Usually
And
firstborns aren't they?
yeah, I think so. At least that's how I am anyway. My brother, like he couldn't get out of here fast enough. He like graduated high school and just left the state, never came home. Regina had to remind Sally when she was little, when she would tuck her into bed at night, she would say, "Don't live a little, live a lot."
I love that so much.
Yeah, and I thought that was interesting that even as a child, like Sally was still cautious, and she still even had to be reminded as a kid to just let go and let loose and have fun and just be a kid. But she was always, even then as a kid, she was always just reserved and afraid to take risks.
Even with her mother still around, which is interesting.
Right, exactly. Oh, well, you know why? Because apparently, I think April, her grandmother, Regina's mother, April sat her down and had to talk with her and kind of told her the deal and like what to expect and like what happens to the Owenses. So I think that probably traumatized Sally as a kid a little bit, like knowing all of that right off the bat.
Leave it to April, man.
Right. And she was kind of like burdened with this information from a very young age. So she kind of like always had that in the back of her mind. How Sally handled the news of her parents' death as a child. So it says, Sally, dark and serious, sat on the bed and held the babysitter's hand to calm her. This was the moment Sally had been dreading, when the life they had enjoyed was turned upside down. Her grandmother had confided, here it is. Her grandmother had confided that it happened to everyone sooner or later. Sally had always thought it would be later, but as it turned out, it was now. So I guess her grandmother confiding in her and telling her all that stuff as a kid like really fucked her up. Like it really like she just I guess harbored on that notion that shit was going to hit the fan sooner or later. And I guess that's why Jillian is so like la 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 la. She's so flighty. She like very carefree because she was never burdened with that information. Sally
is the first Owens to have a filter. It doesn't sound like any other Owens woman gives a fuck, and she's just spilling the beans because she's like, oh, I'm helping, I'm preparing them. No, child trauma.
You're traumatizing this poor child.
Yeah.
And then I guess once it happens, once her parents actually do pass away, then she's like, oh fuck, this isn't a joke, this curse is real. I guess that's kind of just how it follows her, whether it's just death or if it's actually the curse. Like if you tell a child that and then it happens, they're gonna be like, oh, fuck, we are cursed.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so she probably carried with that her whole life, unfortunately. So when Sally's babysitter reveals to young Sally and Jilly that the sheriff's office will be sending someone over to take them into custody after their parents pass, Sally turns to the babysitter because she was a take charge sister, and in this moment it was clear that she had better begin to do so or take charge for that. I was saying she has to take charge. All right, so she asked the sitter to make a phone call, and after the babysitter declines because she was crying and she was way too upset. So even as a child, Sally is forced to play the adult and be the problem solver, even though they had a babysitter who was supposed to be caring for them and supposed to be doing the responsible thing as an adult. Kind of left Sally like, this babysitter is useless. She just crumbles.
Sally is very pragmatic.
And leaves this poor child to once again pick up the pieces and be the adult. And that is so unfortunate.
Was
terrible for Sally.
I have a question. Was Regina the wild one? And because April was kind of wild, but I think they talk about Regina being like real crazy, like driving too fast. So even just having like a wild mom where maybe she wasn't like a mom, and Sally had to be that way from the very beginning and taking care of like all the little things that a mom would.
Yeah, we'll have to read more about did we say Regina? Yeah, Regina. Yeah. Sally was always burdened with the task of cleaning up the mess, picking up the pieces, being the strong one to hold it together for everyone else, even as a child. So she tells Jillian, no one is splitting us up, and she takes it upon herself after the babysitter goes and bees her useless self. She goes to find the phone, and she finds Aunt Bridget and Francis's phone number. She reassures Jillian. She told Jillian, Granny said that if anything ever happened, I should call our family. And Jillian also had no idea. Jillian goes, we have a family? So she's so oblivious, Jillian. So it's interesting to see the dynamic that
Nobody tells Jillian anything.
right. Well, maybe they do, or maybe she's a Sagittarius and hears what she wants to hear and just disregards everything else.
Could be.
Yeah. I don't think Sagittarians, in my personal experience anyway, they don't want to think about crisis. It's like kind of like the last thing on our minds. So when a crisis does happen, we're like, fuck. And then we kind of worry about it then. We never have kind of like a plan.
I can't wait to talk about Jillian in the next what are we doing? Character analysis episode.
Yeah. So Jillian's like, we have a family. So even as kids, it's interesting to see that Jilly is the oblivious one, and Sally is always the one kind of leading the way. And Sally had this like kind of responsible kind of intuition. She knew what had to be done in a crisis. She never got too wrapped up in her emotions. She just got done what she knew she needed to get done in that moment, just to kind of try to keep everybody going and keep the pieces together. So she tells Jillian to go pack lightly because they were going to have to travel from California to Massachusetts to go live with the aunts. So to just give a better idea of why Sally is probably so uptight well into her adulthood, she had to play the role of the adult and the caretaker from the moments her parents died. She even had to tell the people at the funeral parlor that her parents should be dressed in black with no shoes. So what child at that age has to do the planning for the parents' funeral?
Yeah.
You know?
I don't even think that's illegal. I don't know if that would be a thing.
Yeah. I mean, maybe in the book, cool. Like, I don't know if that would fly these days, but I mean, I guess, if there are no other adult figures around other than this babysitter who's just fucking useless, like, how else would they know, like, what the family wanted or how they wanted to be buried if the only other person around is this child? Like, the child would know if, like, what the parents' wishes were, I guess, if they were relayed that information and they were prepared for it ahead of time, which I think it might have said that April kind of explained, or no, I think she said that mommy said that grandma April was buried the same way with black
without her
clothes,
shoes.
Without her shoes. So I think that's how she knew, because I think they remembered the grandmother's funeral. And that's
if I'm in the Owens family, girl, I'm taking out life insurance policies left and right. I don't know. And it sounds like also like maybe like you would think at least April, I wonder if she was able to make her own arrangements. Like kind of like Bridget. Doesn't Bridget kind of make her own planning? Shouldn't you do that anyway as an adult? Have something in mind.
I don't know the full scope of the last book. All I know about Bridget is that she got her omen about the 7 days. By the way, is this The Ring? Did you see that movie? It's like, I wonder if she got a phone call like 7 days. Like,
no, it was.
It was like, the Death Watch Beetle. What if the Death Watch Beetle was actually on the phone and the Death Watch Beetle was like 7 days?
What if he says it like, it's Miss Bridget, it's 7 days from now. Thank you very much. Goodbye. Just click.
Like how he's like a nice Southern gentleman.
He's super, super respectable.
Super polite.
A little top hat, a little bowler hat.
That little devil's coach horse.
Coffee cutter.
All right, where were we?
The Sally calls Frances.
So Sally does the planning for the parents' funeral. She calls Aunt Frances to let her know that her parents died and they are now coming to live with them. So even on the plane, Jillian is sick, vomiting into a paper bag. Sally is still acting the role of the caretaker. She basically is taking care of Jillian on this whole flight. She hands Jillian's puke-filled bag to the flight attendant. So Sally makes it a point, and she tells her sister to pack light, pick her favorite stuffed animals, all that stuff. But Sally packs practical things. She packs her toothbrush, toothpaste, photographs of their parents, a comb, a pajama, and slippers, and like, that's it.
Does it ever say how old they are when this happens?
I don't know, but I'm guessing that they're no more than 10. I can't see them any older than 10.
Right. Okay.
So the aunts are aware of Sally's talents as soon as the girls arrive at the house on Magnolia Street when they walk up the path to the Owens house. And sparrows were nesting in the twisted wisteria. So this is kind of like what I started saying before, how in the book versus movie episode that we talked about, Sally had all these like very apparent magical powers and things about her that we saw in the movie, like right up front. But in the book, I think we said that we didn't really notice any kind of like outright powers other than her like mixing. I don't even know if she mixed her potions in the book because she didn't have an apothecary, right? She didn't do her true love spell. So her being this like herbalist, like it wasn't really a thing in the book. So there wasn't really anything in the book that pointed to any kind of like magical thing that she kind of had going on. But in the rules of magic, and I don't know if this was mentioned in practical magic, I don't remember this being mentioned, but apparently she had a connection with birds just like Jetty did in rules of
That's
magic.
neat. Yeah, I don't think she does. It seems like with each book, all the Owens women get more and more powers.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just, that's why I love the first book so much, is because it's so unsaid. Yeah, it's so practical.
It is so practical. So in this kind of scene when Sally and Julie come to live with the aunts, I think, was it Jet? Yeah, Jet kind of takes note of Sally's connection with the birds, because it's, I guess, that same sparrow, it might have been, do you think this was on the solstice? Because remember the whole thing about the sparrow, how the sparrow flies into,
oh my gosh, what if they did show up on the solstice?
Yeah, wouldn't that be some shit? Because Jet, as we remember in the beginning of Rules of Magic, Jet, Vincent, and Francis, they visit Isabel at the Magnolia Street house for the first time on the solstice.
I also have, this is like totally off the rail. This is like digging me really deep. In practical magic, she probably came up with the concept afterward, but the solstice thing, the girls live there for most of their like teenage life. No other Owens women were coming at age 17 to that house to learn shit.
Right. Yeah. So this could may have well been on the solstice. It might not have been. I'm only comparing this to the solstice because of the mention of the sparrow, and the sparrow was there when Sally and Jillian arrived, and Sally holds out her hand and the sparrow flits over to Sally, sits in the center of her palm, and Sally, she goes, "Hello," comforted by the warmth of the bird and its bright eyes. And Jet acknowledges this, and she goes, "How unusual." And
I can just hear her say that. How unusual. Like how unusual. I don't know, like she knows, like she's like me.
Yeah. So she tosses a knowing look at Franny, and she kind of acknowledges that there's another Owens woman now whom birds flock to on their own accord. And Jillian goes, "It always happens. She doesn't even have to whistle." Aww. And Franny goes, she goes, "Really? Then she's clearly a very talented girl." So I guess at that point, like they kind of acknowledge right away Sally's talents right off the bat, or her gifts and her connection to animals and nature right off the bat. And I guess also because Jetty has that same kind of connection with birds. So I guess they kind of had this unspoken kinship, like they just felt like they knew each other. And then another thing that they kind of make clear at the end of the Rules of Magic, when Sally and Jillian were very little, Sally was very stubborn and she was very sassy and not afraid to talk back, and she kind of back sasses the aunts a little bit as they know each other, which I thought was really cute, which I thought was interesting because Sally was always the one that was very like, very in line. I felt like Jilly would have been more of the bratty one to kind of like talk back, because she was more rebellious, I
think maybe for Sally, like it's more of like, I know a better way than you, or like you're doing it wrong. You know what I mean? Because I'm sure having Jillian as a little sister is always doing it wrong. So even if Sally's doing it the wrong way, in her mind, she's always right. Something like that.
For sure. I think Sally's just so used to being the adult and having to know all the details and having to pick up the pieces. She probably did feel kind of like a little bit of a competition, like, yeah, you're the aunt and maybe you're older than me, but I've had to fend for my sister and I
since the day I was born. Since the day she was born, I've been doing this job. Exactly. We just came to you for a room, please.
Exactly. Free rent.
So, and the cookies and chocolate and the brownies.
That's right. That's all I had for Rules of Magic, but that was those were all of the things that I kind of acknowledged and picked out of there, and how Sally, like, it's kind of apparent like why Sally is the way she is as an adult, because of she had to grow up really fast as a kid, even before her parents passed away.
I'm wondering if like back in California, if because when they moved to Maria's Island, just maybe because of the history connection there, that she's her problems or her not wanting to be out of control, or not wanting to have things out of line, is made worse by like the kids bullying her and like pushing her to feel like she has to fit this mold. But I'm wondering if in California, like she had friends, like she had, like we can only speculate like how her life was in California. Like was Regina, did she show her how to do anything? Did, what was that relationship like? So I'd be
Right.
curious to see.
I'm under the impression that Regina, because they talked a little bit about April, right, the grandmother, and how the grandmother would kind of like take Sally aside and kind of like tell her and kind of warn her about things that were coming up in life. So I'm under the impression that maybe Regina and Daniel, the husband, the father of Sally and Julie, I'm under the impression that they were kind of travelers and they were probably left with the grandmother a lot. That's
Mhm.
the impression that I get.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because they died, first they got in that kayaking accident or whatever, like their boat overturned, and then remember when they were on the honeymoon, and then the I guess the room that they were in caught fire. They perished in the fire, right? So to me that says that they were out traveling a lot, and maybe that was just the honeymoon, but there could have been other instances where they were traveling and left with the grandmother a lot.
That's true. Their relationship, Regina and Daniel's, reminds me a lot of Maria's like real mom and dad. You know how he was like a minstrel. He was what do they call him? They had a weird name for him.
Yeah, like a performer, like a theater performer or something.
Yeah. Just kind of living the nomadic life,
Right.
loving life, loving each other.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's definitely the
what I
vibe I get from
Yeah.
them. So they could have been just, with April, the grandma, the whole time.
Mhm.
And that's kind of like, I don't know.
Okay.
That's what they had to kind of be their own parents.
Yeah.
Because they only had this one old lady in their ear, like, oh, everyone you love is gonna die one day. Like
I know.
in their ear their whole childhood. So
She's so cynical too in that book
know.
as a young April as a youngster. So jaded? Yeah, is that the right word?
Yeah. And do you think it's a little ironic that's why she kind of got it at the end when she got poisoned by that spider bite? She kind of like poisoned herself with her own bullshit.
Oh, I see your connection. I was like, what the fuck? I didn't see
sorry.
it. Yeah, that's okay. No, I'm sorry. Blah. I got it now.
I was just thinking like it's kind of ironic how her whole life she was like this cynical bitch. And then like this spider at the end was like, all right, you want some real poison? I'm gonna give it to you. Like
she kept them as pets. Girl, it's been a long time since I read this story.
Yeah.
Did she keep them as pets?
I don't remember. I just reread this and I already forget. Like I don't remember.
It's fine.
I don't remember she kept them as pets. I just remember her just like dying from a spider bite.
Okay.
That's how she bit the dust at the end.
All right. So next in the series is Magic Lessons. And there's nothing about Sally in that book because it's Maria's timeline in the late 1600s. And then the last book in the series is called Book of Magic. And that bumps us up to like present day. And the girl, Antonia and Kylie are older. They're in college. So here are some excerpts out of Book of Magic. So it says, unfortunately, Sally Owens couldn't hold on to love and everyone knew it. She's been the victim of her family's curse, not once, but twice. You could say 3 times because she lost her parents, but I guess that's not like her loving them, but
it's still loss.
Yes. She was quite young when she first married a forbidden act that could only end badly. A forbidden act? Are they not supposed to get married?
Well, no, because they're not supposed to fall in love, right? No Owens women. Yeah.
So this is interesting. So Alice Hoffman adds a little bit about Michael. She says, Sally, her husband Michael, a school friend, and the father of her girl. So he was a school friend. It doesn't say in Practical Magic that they were mates.
No, it doesn't say that. And there was, I see you have it here. I was going to bring this up to you too. The inconsistency with his death.
Oh, I didn't write this. I just copied and pasted this from the book.
Oh, so you, so, okay. So read the rest of this right now and tell me this is not the biggest freaking inconsistency.
Yes. Okay. A school friend and the father of her girls had been a local boy, and the first to ask her out. He was cursed with an untimely death, a victim of bad luck and bad weather, struck by lightning.
Yeah. What?
Alice, how could you?
Alice, what happened here, Alice?
Interessant.
Like both the book and the movie, he got hit by the car, right?
Right.
So what is this?
Maybe she was trying to bring the lightning thing back around, like the Gary thing.
But like if your audience is following you for that long, you can't just like sneak that in there and expect nobody to bat an eye. Come on now.
All right. Sally was embittered and even more standoffish than she'd been as a girl. In Sally's opinion, a life without magic was preferable, and she had done her best to ensure that her daughters wouldn't live with the cloud of the curse above them, spying danger in every kiss. And then you added something down here. Go if you would like to take this away.
So I was just gonna say, we don't have to put this part in, but I was gonna say we should talk a little bit about how we think Sally's upbringing and past traumas. I think we already talked about that before we took the break. The passing of her grandmother, then her parents, then her spouses. I think all of that has shaped her into the reserved, cautious, and eventually bitter woman that she has become by the fourth book, in the beginning of the book anyway, because I hadn't read past like
Oh no, she's a bitch through the whole thing.
Oh, okay.
Excuse
Good
me.
to know. So clearly her childhood and all her past traumas, the accumulation of all of this over her entire life up until this point of Book of Magic, it's just made her a very bitter person.
I can't blame her.
Because I think in her mind now at this point, she's like, oh, it's definitely the curse. She's blaming it on this curse. So she's bitter about this curse instead of just accepting that loss happens.
Loss happens.
And just learning to how to grieve properly instead of harboring on this curse.
Sorry. Our Death Watch Beetle thing should have been Death Watch Beetle # loss happens.
Lost that. It's so fucked. But
it is.
But it's so true. And I just wish that somebody would be like, dude, Sally, go to some grief counseling. Do some kind of like healing work or something. Like she needs help. She needs therapy. She needs to kind of, I guess, come to terms with what has been happening to her throughout her whole entire life.
Yeah, she never, from what we read in the books, never seeks outside help.
She never seeks out help. It's kind of always brushed under the rug. She's kind of left to her own devices to kind of like deal with all of this tragedy that's happened in her life. And instead of just grieving and allowing herself the space to grieve properly and just realizing that like loss is a part of life and it's going to happen, like she just continues to blame it on this curse.
Right. She doesn't have any like tools or steps for like, there's no timeline of grief. And somebody, I don't know if it was Popcorn Psychology or what. It's not the 7, is it 7 steps or 5 steps?
I don't remember.
Of grief. It's not steps. It's like a rainbow. It's cyclical. Like you're going to just ebb and flow through these steps of grief and it's going to always bubble up and she's not processing it. Just like I think they were like, I'm not a psychologist. We are advocating for mental health and, seek out the help you need from professionals.
Exactly. And I just think that she's just become so bitter and pent up with this resentment just because she's never been able to release all of those feelings of grief in a proper way, Yeah. She never has anybody to kind of help guide her through those feelings.
Feeling like she's always got to hold her family together. It's not surprising at all that she's choosing to try to do this on her own. You know what I mean? I'm not talking about Ian. I'm talking about just losing Michael. I'm not even going for the other books because you're definitely right. She's much, much deeper, darker, bitter in the other books. But in the movie, she's visibly not handling it.
Yeah, in the movie, she seems more hopeful. She seems more lighthearted about her loss. But in this fourth book, the Book of Magic, she's just like, I'm only like probably halfway through the first chapter, and I'm like, damn, Sally got what the fuck happened?
She's entering her Scorpio, full blown Scorpio.
Full blown, and I'm like, ooh, I don't know this Sally. This is a different Sally.
Interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's why I'm like, I've only read the first portion of this book so far, and I'm already like I'm wondering like how if her attitude changes again throughout the course of the book. So I'm interested to see how this one turns out. So I haven't finished this one yet, but I can't wait to talk about this one when I do.
Yeah, I think I'll have to reread it also because I really only read it the one time, and I'm gonna try to go through it again with like an unbiased mindset because I don't know if I liked it all that much the first time. However, for this podcast, for people who might end up, I think I told you this a couple days ago. I really hope this podcast encourages people to go read these books. Like the movie's awesome, but the books are cool for a whole different myriad of reasons. So there is
spoiled everything for them already.
Yeah, exactly. But there's somebody out there who is going to like this fourth book, and I want to do it justice.
Yeah, but not for nothing. I'm like, Michael, You did not get struck by lightning. What are you doing?
Michael was done dirty. He didn't even get a last name in the book. Did he get it in the book? I don't think he had it in the book. It was in the movie we talked about. He was credited.
Okay.
All right. I think we're going to take a small break. And when we come back, we will end up pulling a card from the Inner Witch Oracle, as we usually do. And we're going to actually get into some personality tests. So we're not only going to do like, we're going to check out like the Myers Briggs. We're going to try to take this test as if we were Sally, and then speculate on some of those answers. And we might actually have, if you do you want to do the other tests we have lined up too?
What do we have? The Enneagram,
We're going to do and we have the Pottermore. We're going to see what house Sally would be in. Have you done that one? What house are you in?
Like, I think I'm a Slytherin, honestly.
Me too. Okay.
All right. Fly, bitches.
All right, guys, we will be right back after the short break. Hey, we're the Stinas, and you're listening to the Magnolia Street Podcast.
Are you drinking some Demon Whispers?
I got my Demon Whispers. It's Pamplemousse.
That's your favorite one, isn't it?
I like the key lime, this one, and that limoncello. I'm scared to try other ones. Erin loves the coconut one, and I think you like it too.
I do.
Girl, it tastes like sunscreen.
I know, that's why I like it.
Ugh.
It reminds me of the beach. I'm like,
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Reminds me of sitting on a beach. Love it.
Oh man. Is your coffee still warm?
No, it's like the very end of it though. So I'm just like, yeah, it's just like
disaster. All right. Guys, welcome back. We're gonna do a card pull from the Inner Witch Oracle. Do any of the characters have their own cards?
No,
so we're gonna have to do a shuffle this time then, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I'm ready to write down our thing. I wanted.
Oh, go ahead. What?
No, I wasn't gonna say anything. Nothing.
I was gonna say, fuck. What was I gonna say?
You were talking about characters in the Oracle card deck.
Oh yeah. So I was thinking it might be cool, like down the line. Here's another one of my crazy Sagittarius, like overly ambitious. One of my ideas. Okay, add this to the Okay, so
her first one was our own line of our seltzer, our own line of hard seltzers.
Yeah,
that's the first one.
So we're gonna come out with a line of hard seltzers called Demon Whispers. It's already been trademarked, patent pending. So don't try to steal it because
intellectual property 2022, 23.
We'll find you and sue the shit out of you. All right. And my next idea was to do an Oracle deck, but a podcast themed practical magic Oracle deck.
What do you mean?
So like the Death Watch beetle would just be coffin cutter. It would.
Ooh, sweet.
So it would be little insight things from the podcast that would be.
And then the house one would be cornices or trusses. Sweet. I'm down.
Yeah, it'll be a little different, little bit of a different take on
what would Sally's be? Loss happens.
Loss happens. Oh no. Oh,
Michael's would be Tour de France.
Well, Michael's would be just a lightning bolt and a question mark. Like,
yeah, really. It would be the car. It would be the car from is it Cars? Doesn't he have the lightning bolt on him? You know, the Disney movie, Pixar movie, Cars.
Lightning McQueen.
Yeah. Sweet, we got this.
Queen. Mm-hmm. All right, so that's our next idea. We're just putting all of our overly ambitious ideas on a list, and then maybe one day you guys can help us make them happen.
Justina's slowly turning me into a Sagittarius. I'm for it. Oh, you're just like, I want to do this. I want to do this. I'm like, hold on. Yeah, I'm gonna do all of this. I'm like, write it down though. Write it down. You're like, no, I don't need it. I don't need that shit.
I don't need that kind of negativity in my life.
Lists are for bitches.
We Sagittarius make shit happen.
Yeah. No, I need your fire. We talked about this. The Tenacious and the D.
Yeah, we are the Tenacious and the D. All right, I'm gonna pull a card. Ready? Go. Ooh, the Inner Circle, which is the Strength card. That's
beautiful.
If you guys can't, you guys can't see this because this is an audio podcast, but this is actually it's a circle of brooms, which is actually one of the songs.
Wonderful. When we redo, well, it's going to be down the line, but when we do talk about our Circle of Brooms song, we'll pull that one back out.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. We'll talk about it. Cool.
Yeah, we can revisit this. So this card has all of the elemental symbols on it, like the little triangle line drawings of like air, fire, water.
Mm-hmm.
So this says the meaning of this card. On the card it says strength, and then on the top of the book where the meaning is, it says strength, but it also says togetherness. So this is very interesting. This is an interesting card to pull for when we're talking about Sally, how we were just talking about how she takes on a lot of the brunt of her own, like she feels like she has to do it all and be the one person to keep everything together and everything in line, and everything falls on her. And this is why I think she's a Virgo, because she doesn't know how to delegate, and she's very much like, if I don't do it, somebody else is gonna fuck it up. So
yep, we just talked about that.
she doesn't know how to relinquish that control, and I think that's a little bit me and you, Kristina, we're both Virgo ascendings, so we have a little bit of those qualities.
We're working on it.
And this podcast has kind of been of a little bit of a test for the both of us in kind of this partnership and being able to relinquish control to each other and kind of give up a little bit of that control, so we can both kind of simultaneously make this happen as a unit, not as just one person here and one person there. We have to be on the same page a lot.
Yes, exactly. And if y'all are on our Patreon, we actually did a bonus. Justina got a tarot reading done a while back, like beginning of October, and we kind of talk about the relinquishing of the need for control and how it's just an illusion anyway. So go listen to that.
So yeah, that's a great episode. It's a nice juicy morsel for you to bite your yeah. But this card, the very first line was like, this card was for this episode, which is
awesome.
So it says strength and togetherness. The very first line is, you could do it alone, but you don't have to.
What the fuck?
Right?
How about that? Yeah, shut up.
That the cards never lie. So it says, there is great strength in numbers. Rise up to gather the needed energy and courage from these bonds. This is also a message to reach out and fully connect with all of the elements. So that kind of ties in the little elemental symbols and at the bottom. Not all witches practice with others. Some are solitary witches. These witches gain power and strength by connecting and honoring the elements. So if you are not part of a coven and you don't work well with other people, and sometimes, some people are just better solitary and on their own. But if you want to kind of harness that power of togetherness and unity, it's good to honor the elements, because you have the earth, the air, the fire, the water. You have that group on your side. I guess this is what it's trying to say.
I like that.
So let's talk a little bit about, I guess, because this inner circle and the movie, I'm talking about the movie, Sally, the whole movie, she's kind of like, she feels like she has to go at it alone because Jillian's far away. The aunts, they kind of like do what the fuck they want. They meddle in her love life. She feels like she has no control when she finds out that like that wasn't her free will. That was actually just a love spell. Like that must have driven her Virgo ass freaking crazy.
Yeah.
That she didn't even have control over the person she married and had children with.
Wow. Yeah.
I feel like she, like a lot of that movie, she just felt very alone, very isolated, very in the dark. And once she realized that she had this like system of women, like the phone tree, to rely on, ultimately, like all of those people who she thought ostracized her and, wouldn't be on her side, like when it came down to it, like they all came through in the end. And
it's all about asking, isn't it?
Exactly.
Like you would be fucking surprised how many people will do or support what you need to. You just have to ask.
100%. And guess what? When she phoned everybody, when she put the word through the phone tree, everyone was like so excited.
Yeah.
That she asked them.
Yeah, they were. That's so cute. It's so
right?
cute. Yeah.
Like even that one woman, Sarah, who like I wanted to see inside of your house ever since I was a little girl. It's crazy how like when you make up in your head, you can make up in your head that you have these villains, but ultimately they might just be people that want to be your friend when it comes
when
down
she
to
says that though, I always took it as like she was like grasping at something nice to say. Like she didn't have anything else nice. So she was like, I've always wanted to see inside your house. Kind of
it could have been taken.
And she was nervous.
For sure. And, there was always that little bit of animosity. I mean, they say high school never ends, and there's always part of you that like knows certain people from high school, and that they're completely different people.
Don't waste your time on me. You're already okay.
But like, we're all adults now. We're all different people now. Like we know how to socialize in a healthy way now.
Hopefully.
And, hopefully, yeah, for the most part anyway. And there might be still some passive aggressive assholes left over from high school, but I feel like for the most part, people grow the fuck up. But it's funny how high school never ends in the sense that we all have these children, we also have those children voices inside of our head that kind of like still we can put ourselves right back in that same position where we met that same person that said that one fucked up thing to us in school that we're still holding on to.
Oh,
and
yeah.
you still think that they're that type of person.
Yeah.
You know? So I feel like it was a little bit of that too with that girl Sarah, like a little bit of childhood animosity. But now they're both realizing that they're both women, they're both adults, they can put the past behind them and kind of move forward in this sisterhood that's like really nice and supportive.
I think
So,
the
yeah.
transition like between the phone tree day where we see her, because like I don't know how a phone tree works. I don't know if you're voted and then like the list gets made. I don't know. But when Jillian shows up, Sarah, like I don't think Sarah personally has it out for Sally at this time. I think what's the saying? Like, but when Jillian comes in, Sarah does this like it always reminds me of like a chicken like ruffling its feathers, like getting all squared up. Yeah, she's all riled up because it's a threat, and Sally had never been a threat. And maybe she had seen Sarah always as that threat, that which you're a bitch, you know. Where was I going with this? Like, oh, but then it takes like a crisis. Y'all put aside your differences. And what's that one girl say? Like, I've heard about being strung up by a guy before, but this. So I don't know what Sally was said over the phone. Like, I need your help because my sister's going through a hard time, or I need your help but I need your help.
Yeah.
She probably had never said that before.
Right.
Okay.
And I think that took a lot for her to say that, because for the longest time she felt like she was the only one that had any control over her whole life. You know, even since like, and if we're going back to the books, like since she was a kid. So for a long time, I mean, even in the movie, right? She was seen kind of like coming to Jillian's rescue when she was getting rocks thrown at her, and you know, even coming to the rescue when she called her on the phone when Jimmy beat her up. Like, she's just constantly coming to the rescue for other people. Like, but she never ever asked anybody to come to the rescue for her. Like, look at when Michael died. She kind of just clammed up and just sat in her bed for who knows how many months until Jillian came in and was like, what the fuck are you doing? You got to take care of your little girls. Like, even the aunts just kind of left Sally to her own devices, and they probably were like, well, it's our own fault because we did this to her. So they probably felt
that guilt in there.
They felt a lot of guilt. So they probably were like, let's just leave her to her own devices. She'll come out when she's ready to come out.
There was a portion, I don't know why I didn't include it, but in Practical Magic, I think in the book they said, don't they say like, you know, she was pretty standoffish, but if you needed somebody to watch your kids on a Friday night, she would be there. If you needed this, she would be there. So even for the townspeople, she's like going the fuck out of her way, you know?
Yeah. And I think that's part of the Virgo people pleasing aspect for sure. This is why I think she's a Virgo.
Interesting. Is there more on the card? I'm sorry, I keep interrupting you. We get
no, it's
so
okay.
excited about this shit.
It's crazy how like this card was just like so perfect for this discussion.
It is.
So that was as far as like the meaning on the card, but then like as I've said in previous episodes, the Inner Witch Oracle by Grounded by the Moon, he does a really cool thing. He kind of adds a little bit of proactive spell work that you can do with each card. So for this card, he says, deepen your connection with rope magic. Grab a piece of rope and make 5 knots, a knot for each element while speaking the affirmation with each knot: earth, air, fire, water, and spirit. When you're finishing the 5th knot, take a moment and gain the energy from it. Utilize it on your altar or make it into a bracelet. And then there's a mantra on the bottom that says, we are stronger together. So if you're having a little trouble asking for help, or if you need some group support and you want to make it easier for yourself, I guess if you have trouble relinquishing control, maybe if you have this deck, put this card on your altar space, meditate on it, kind of try to harness the power of the elements to give you that strength and courage to just, I guess, ask for the help you need. Like Kristina said, you'd be surprised how many people are willing to jump to want to help you with whatever you need. So
Totally. Awesome. Perfect card. I wrote that down for our notes, and I think it's our $3 tier on our Patreon that gets these show notes so we can look back on some of these goodies.
Yeah.
So what kind of car we think Sally's driving? I'm I'm ready.
So, you want me to say it, or did you speculate on this too?
I was thinking, well, you kind of nailed it too, but like something
Right.
economical. However, I'm going to go a different direction and say that she
Okay.
never actually got her own car. Well, in the book, it says that Michael fixes up the aunt's old car. I don't know if it ever says what kind of car it is, but in my mind in movie Sally, like the aunts are fly as fuck, and they probably have like a T-Bird or something, like something real slick. And she's walking around town wherever, but I think she takes the aunt's car out for a nice ride every now and then.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say she probably has some kind of like cheap but like like safe economy car that gets good gas to the mileage.
Or like a Volvo.
Yeah. Or I put like even Volvos are a little on the pricey end. I was gonna say, because I think Sally she's probably a very frugal person. So probably something like a Kia or like a Toyota Corolla or Prius.
She is eco-conscious.
Exactly. And also I think she's probably been like driving the same car for decades.
Yeah.
And it's probably in such good condition because she only ever drives it locally. So her car has like no mileage on it. And
she never goes anywhere.
Exactly, that too. And she's also like a recluse, so she has like no real reason to drive it. And if she does drive it, it's only like to and from her job, which is in town. So yeah, she barely uses it. And I have a feeling like she's super on point with like all her oil changes and her car maintenance. And
Virgo.
She's very, and she knows how to stretch a dollar. So I think that she's had this car for ages, and it's a very economical. Why can't I say that?
Economical.
It's a mechanical car.
Do you think in that scene where she's opening the shop to work on the shop, do you think she parked somewhere and walked, or do you think she walked from home?
Oh, good point.
Yeah.
I don't know, because we don't really know how far the center of town is from. Well, it can't be far, because remember that scene she was running after Gary? She ran all the way from the house into town to chase Gary. So it can't be that far.
Can't be that far. Okay.
So she could have very well have walked.
Yeah. So that car is not getting any miles on it.
Then that scraps our theory. She don't even have a car. She don't need a car.
Yes. What kind of tea? I was curious to what she would like cook for like a Sunday meal, but we kind of get that idea from the Practical Magic book. Like she makes very healthy, like well-balanced, well-rounded meals, but then she becomes vegetarian. So that kind of shifts, but we kind of get a sense of her cooking style in the books.
But very plain Jane meat and potatoes. She also then she makes that spaghetti dinner when Gary comes to visit in the books, right?
True. That is true. Yeah, she was making like what the hell did that say earlier? Let me go back up to my notes. Oh, here we go. It was the lunch boxes. Oh yeah, packing up turkey and tomato sandwiches on whole wheat bread, carrot sticks, ice oatmeal cookies. Delicious.
Yeah, I feel like it's very just like your typical American dinners.
Oh yeah. What kind of tea do you think she drinks?
Oh, she's probably definitely like an herbal. I think she's probably like a lavender, like a chamomile lavender or something.
She's
like
always chilled the fuck out.
She's always just like yeah. I don't think
she has to be.
I don't think she drinks any type of caffeinated black tea. I can't see her drinking that kind of tea. She obviously drinks coffee.
Right.
So she has to balance that with herbal tea.
It could be decaf coffee.
It could be decaf coffee. Wow, we are speculating so hard. Like every aspect of it.
It could be this, or it could be this. You know, 50-50 shot either way.
Was it in the movie? Did she have cream in her coffee? I think there was cream in that coffee.
She was stirring it. The stir is going, so she's stirring something in the coffee.
Or was it black coffee?
Why would you have a stir?
You stir black coffee, right?
No.
Right. So there had to be a cream or sugar in that coffee.
Yes.
Or stevia. She might not even use real sugar. I think she uses stevia.
Or honey. Look at us. All right, if I'm concocting, okay, say it's like a Tuesday morning, she's on her way to work. I think she's packing up some warm chai, with like elderberry syrup or something like that.
Yeah, something very obscure for sure.
Yeah.
It ain't gonna be no Earl Grey with sugar, like nah.
It ain't gonna be a London fog. That's not happening.
No Lipton for her.
Lipton. Sally Owens approved. Not approved.
Not approved.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's her tea. What kind of, you said alcohol besides margaritas is she drinking?
Yeah. What do you think? I was thinking, because she's trying to be so normal, I think she'd be like a Pinot or a Chardonnay or
I
something.
was gonna go wine too. I was gonna go
Yeah.
wine. I wasn't gonna go hard alcohol with her. Because again, if she's drinking herbal tea, she wants to chill the fuck out. So she's gonna have a glass of wine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not a heavy red or anything.
No, it's a light.
She's light and fruity.
Yeah, I could see her going like an apple crisp white wine or something like that.
She likes herself a cider now and again.
Ooh, I could see her being down with cider. You think she likes rim jobs?
There's a side of Sally we do not know.
Living on the edge. She's having like cinnamon sugar rims. Especially if they're up from the Salem way, she's all about those sugar rim jobs.
That's right.
Because they're all over the place when I went. All right.
Yeah, the margs are when she really lets loose. That's the only thing besides wine that I could see her.
Yeah, I feel like the margs are only like a special occasion thing, and she only ever drinks them when the aunts do the midnight margarita spiel.
Yeah. What about if she's going out like on a date on say so and so John, I don't know, Steve, hey, you want to go to like a pumpkin patch and like get a drink?
She's probably doing a wine.
You think a wine? Okay,
Yeah.
classy.
Yeah, I think she's about the winery life.
I can say okay, because she borrows the aunt's hats and she fits right in.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, the hats.
All right, we'll go with that.
Okay, and we're in agreement that like her coffee has. I was thinking she would do black because like she's so like straight laced, straightforward. But in the movie, she does have a stir, which we talked about. It's stirring something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe it's the souls of all the men.
Yeah.
She
Oh. I like to speculate that I think she would put pineapple on her pizza.
I think so.
But she's a vegetarian.
True.
And she needs a little flavor.
Okay. Yeah. And she's from I don't know, is that a Hawaiian thing? The pineapple on the pizza?
Probably. I don't know.
I know that this is probably unpopular opinion, but I'm not a pineapple pizza person.
I'm not either.
I could see her getting down with like a kale pizza. It sounds horrible, but I think she would.
With like a cauliflower crust.
Yeah, with a cauliflower. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would think she would be very like offbeat with her pizza choice. Like the normal person would be like, that sounds horrible, but she would enjoy it to the fullest extent.
There is a section. Here it is. Page 103 in Practical Magic. They're at the Kylie's birthday and they go to order pizza.
Yeah, right? What does she order?
Yeah. She says, let's order. She said, let's get 2 pepperoni pizzas. And then Antonia says, you don't eat meat. Oh, and then it says, I'll have another glass of Chianti.
There you go. She's a wine and she's a veggie pizza and a wino. So we kind of nailed it.
Yeah. So she orders stuffed mushrooms and pasta. That's what she orders. Okay. There's lots of references to pizza in this book. What's next? I think we're going to talk a little bit about Myers Briggs. Do you want to read the description?
All right. So Myers Briggs is basically a personality test. In personality typology, the Myers Briggs Type Indicator, MBTI, is an introspective self-report questionnaire indicating differing psychological preferences and how people perceive the world and make decisions. The test attempts to assign a value to each of 4 categories: introversion or extroversion, sensing or intuition, thinking or feeling, and judging or perceiving. 1 letter from each category is taken to produce a 4-letter test result, such as INTJ or ESFP. So basically this is like what? Like, I don't know, a 50 to 100 questionnaire, something of the sort?
No, maybe like the original one, but when it didn't take long for us to take. Justina took one and I took one, and now we're gonna like see what Sally's might be. But Justina and I actually got the same thing. And I don't know if maybe in passing you've heard people be like, oh, what personality type are you? This is what they're referring to most of the time, is the 4 letters. All right,
so this test is from 16personalities.com. There's degrees of, it's not just agree or disagree, like there's a scale. So okay, yes. There's like one little neutral bubble in the middle, and then you have 3 degrees of agree and 3 degrees of disagree. So you either very strongly agree, very strongly disagree, or it's like kind of spot. There's like gray areas. It's nothing is ever like hard or like, agree or disagree.
Is your first question, do you make friends? Do you regularly make friends? Is that your first question? Okay, cool. All right, I'm on the same spot.
I'm gonna go for, this is Sally now, right? We're talking Sally.
Yes.
I'm gonna go with hard disagree.
Okay, I agree.
All right, so you spend a lot of your free time exploring various random topics that pique your interest. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like she'd be like a lot of the same, like the herbalism.
Yeah. I don't think she's deviating from her usual day-to-day life.
No, me either, but I think she probably reads a lot because, as we saw in the car scene, when Jimmy starts spitting off his bullshit about Louis L'Amour, she was very quick to correct him. So she reads.
Okay. So do we want to
I'm gonna go with like a middle agree, maybe.
Middle agree? Okay,
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
All right. So seeing other people cry can easily make you feel like you want to cry too.
Agree.
You think she's a little harder than that?
I think I'm going to the possession scene because like one woman starts crying and then everyone starts crying, you know?
Wait, which scene?
When Jillian's all possessed and she's like laying on the floor crying, like all the other women are crying around her.
Yeah, but she was crying first because it affected her personally. But I feel like this question is more like, if Sally saw other people cry, would that make her want to cry? I feel like she'd be a little more hardened to, I don't know.
So can we do slightly disagree, like the first little purple dot?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. So you often make a backup plan for a backup plan. Strong agree.
Hard agree.
You usually stay calm even under a lot of pressure. I'm going to put the middle agree because in the crisis with the whole Jimmy crisis, she was the one that kind of like had to kind of.
Yeah, but then we see her when Gary shows up and she is freaking the fuck out.
Okay.
Slight agree. I'm going to do little baby agree.
Little baby agree?
Yeah.
Okay. It's weird. Like when she was helping Jilly, like when she was helping Jilly kind of get through Jilly's whole crisis, she was very calm.
Was she though? Because she was like, I have a life, Jilly. I had normal. I worked really, really hard to get it normal. And she is hyperventilating. And that's what I see.
Okay. You're right. But she does kind of pull through.
And she goes,
she's put under a lot of pressure. And even though she's under that pressure, she does pull through, but she does freak out a little bit. So yeah, I think I can agree. Baby agree.
Baby agree. Okay. At social events, you rarely try to introduce yourself to new people and mostly talk to the ones you already know. Agree.
Well, do you think she's even at social events?
Oh, there's no option for that.
I know. Okay, so hard agree.
Hard agree.
All right.
Next.
All right.
You prefer to completely finish one project before starting another.
Hard agree, probably, right?
Okay.
If she's a Virgo.
Mm-hmm.
Probably wants to focus on one thing at a time. Very sentimental. I'm gonna go with
baby disagree because she's telling Jillian to like leave all her stuffed animals and stuff.
Yeah.
But we speculated that she keeps Michael's ashes maybe somewhere.
Should we do neutral?
Okay.
Neutral. You like to use organizing tools and schedules and lists. Agree.
I love her planner. Her little planners are cool.
Even a small mistake can cause you to doubt your overall abilities and knowledge. Probably a hard agree, right?
Yeah.
Her whole life, she kind of brushed her gifts under the rug because of this. Why did the curse, right? Because she saw the aunts and what love did to other people.
Yeah, I see that.
So that one.
It's funny that her like her go-to was to use magic to combat magic. You know what I mean? But in this regard, yes, I'm agreeing with you. The hard agree.
Okay. All right. So you feel comfortable just walking up to someone you find interesting and striking up a conversation. Hard disagree.
Okay. Trying to think if she does that at all.
I don't think so because even in the phone tree scene, we kind of see her kind of cowering there. She's got her arms kind of crossed. Her body language is very closed off. Like, so she's probably known all of those women for a very long time. But even in the presence of people who she's known for a long time, she even kind of like clams up a little bit. So I can't imagine she would like walk up to anybody and just start a conversation.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the
all right. You are not too interested in discussing various interpretations and analyses of creative works. I disagree. I disagree. I think she loves talking.
I also disagree. I think once you like get her going about some kind of like really like a rabbit hole, like a theory, I feel like you can get her going on theoretical conversations. That's the problem. I think that's the thing with Sally. She's an introvert So surface level discussion does not interest her.
Mhm.
But if you kind of like tickle her brain a little bit with like a theoretical conversation, I feel like you could get her going for a while.
Yeah,
This is how
I think so
feel.
too.
All right. So next page. Okay. So you are more inclined to follow your head than your heart.
Agree.
Agree. Hard agree.
Hard
The
agree.
only time we ever saw her follow her heart was when the aunts kind of took away her free will.
Yeah, really.
So yeah. They bind her legs with molasses. Oh man.
We
All right.
the next one is you usually prefer just doing what you feel at any given moment instead of planning a particular daily routine.
Disagree. Hard to say.
Yeah. She is on an agenda.
You rarely worry about whether you make a good impression on people you meet. I'm gonna go with middle disagree.
You think so? Okay. Like
she's constantly worried about what people think of her. That's why she's the way she is, right? Because she's
I would
always
say hard, like you rarely I would say hard disagree. She's always trying to fit in.
Okay.
I
would only say middle disagree because yeah, she's always trying to fit in, but there is that something about her that, you know, she doesn't show other people. Like she can't really be herself. I don't know.
I'm good with middle. I'm just trying to think of a scenario in which it would be the opposite, you know, that she was okay
Right.
without making a good impression. Maybe when she met Jimmy, she's like, I don't give a fuck about you. I don't care if you like me or not.
Right. Okay. Yeah. And even when she meets Gary, like
if you have question, what did she say? If you need to ask me something, ask me. Or if you have a question, just ask me. All right. So middle disagree.
Yeah, she gets a little sassy with him. She's not really trying to please Gary off the bat.
You enjoy participating in group activities.
Hard disagree. Because well, even though she clearly doesn't enjoy being at the phone tree, it kind of seems like she does it either because she needs to do it for her daughters because it's part of the school. And maybe it's healthier for her to be in a social situation, because if she's a complete recluse, that's not good. So I don't know. I don't think she enjoys participating in group activities, but she kind of begrudgingly does it just because it's part of life.
I'm thinking closer to neutral. I don't know why, because like when she is with Michael and they have their normal life and they're taking like the girls out on their little scooters and stuff, like she's fine being like out and about. I don't know if that means like group participation or just like in a group setting. You know what I mean?
When I think of like group activities, I think more of like phone tree and the end when they're doing their little coven activity. I think it probably changed for her when she realized people want to help her.
Yes.
I think before that, I think she was very hesitant toward being in group activity settings.
I think Margot Martindale got her all jazzed up for like a Tupperware party, you know, like a dark Tupperware exorcism party. Let's clean house.
Let's clean house.
I'm gonna put baby disagree.
Okay, baby disagree. Got it. You like books and movies that make you come up with your own interpretation of the ending. Middle agree?
Middle agree.
All right. Your happiness comes more from helping others accomplish things than your own accomplishments.
I say hard agree.
Yeah, I feel like she's a people pleaser. She wants to help everybody else but herself. That's why she's lacking in the self-care department.
Yeah, man. You are interested in so many things that you find it difficult to choose what to try next. Ooh. Yeah. Okay. I am going to do baby disagree.
Yeah, I think she's so on a hard schedule that she probably finds it difficult to deviate from the script.
I think if she's going to get herself a new hobby, she carves out a specific time to do that hobby.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Oh, Virgo. That's like so.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
You are prone to worrying that things will take a turn for the worse. Hard agree.
Yeah.
Hard agree. I feel like she's constantly been on the edge of her seat since she was a kid, just waiting for shit to
drop.
Oh, poor girl. All right. You avoid leadership roles in group settings.
I think she wants to take the lead.
Yeah, you're probably right. Because she was a great leader at the end when she had to lead everybody through that coven scene, right?
Right. And just how we were talking before of her having to like basically take the lead her whole life and get shit done. And she wants to be at the top of the phone tree, you know?
Right. Yeah.
Right. You avoid leadership roles in group setting. Disagree.
You avoid leadership. All right. You are definitely not an artistic type of person.
I'm going to strong agree with that. I think she's very creative in her lotion making.
Wait, so you agree that she's not an artistic type of person, or you disagree?
It says you are definitely not an artistic type of person. I disagree that I disagree. Yes.
Hard disagree.
Yes.
Okay. And also in the attic, were there like paints and stuff up there? I don't remember.
Yeah.
Do you think she paints on the side? That's her arts and crafts projects.
It'd be sweet.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And also those wind chimes in the garden, like the spoons and stuff. Like, do you think she?
Yeah, that's sweet. I wonder that I'm picturing like the aunts like having a little art day with the girls when they were little and just making like wind chimes and birdhouses and shit.
Yeah. All right. So we'll say, yeah, we disagree. We think she is an artistic type of person. That might come from her moon aspect. She might be a water sign, which they're very creative people. So there might be a little mix of that artistic abilities in her.
So the next question is, or the next prompt is, you think the world would be a better place if people relied more on rationality and less on their feelings?
Probably middle agree.
Middle agree, yeah. Next one is, you prefer to do your chores before allowing yourself to relax? Hard agree.
Hard agree, absolutely. Okay. You enjoy watching people argue. I'm going to go with hard disagree.
Yeah.
I don't think she would enjoy that.
I think that, like Jillian too, I think that would put them in kind of like a fight or flight, like protect yourself kind of thing.
You tend to avoid drawing attention to yourself. Hard agree, right?
Hard agree, yeah.
She even in that whole phone tree scene, she's just
shrinking.
She cowers, yeah.
Yeah,
she just kind of like sinks into her seat, doesn't really, want anybody to look at her. And then even when Jillian walks in the room, she's like, oh God, here we go. She sinks even further into her seat.
Yeah. I would think she does, but she actually kind of like perks her head up a little bit, like, hey, I'm back here. Like, come sit with me, and then they kind of like, she feels a little better.
It's probably half and half. She probably feels very relieved that Jillian's there, but she's also probably like, oh God, here we go. Like, she knows Jillian's MO. Like,
she's going to start shit up. Yeah,
exactly.
It's about to get turned. Does your mood change very quickly?
Agree.
You think her mood changes very quickly?
I feel like again, she's probably got the underlying water sign. So I feel like at the drop of a dime, like if something like
is out of her control, she freaks out. Okay.
Yes, absolutely. Especially like the whole Jimmy scene. Like once shit started hitting the fan, she was like, oh God, she went into like panic mode. So yeah, okay. I think I agree that her mood can change very quickly.
Are you doing middle agree or hard agree?
On the mood change?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go middle.
Okay. I love like her with her daughters is so funny because she's very, very parental because she's a single parent. But like she's like, I asked you to get the mint from the garden, please, before your bus gets here. Like she's firm. But then when Antonia's annoying the fuck out of them with that kazoo or whatever, she's like, hey, can I see that? And zoom, she chucks it across the room. It's playful. I like it a lot. Okay. You lose patience with people who are not as efficient as you.
Oh,
agree.
Yeah. I could see her doing that. Like that scene when what's his face? Dwight comes into the shop and he's like giving her shit about the stuff she sold him.
Yeah.
Like, try to remember. She's just does not have time for his bullshit.
Right.
You often end up doing things at the last possible moment. Disagree. She's got her shit planned out.
Yeah.
Months in advance.
Oh yeah. You've always been fascinated by the question of what, if anything, happens after death. That's hard.
Yeah, that is a hard one.
Death is always on the Owens' minds.
Yeah.
I feel like it would be on her mind, but I don't know if she's fascinated by it. So maybe baby agree?
Or do you think she's neutral about it?
I'm good with neutral.
Because she's so desensitized to it. Right? Like, yeah, she grieved a lot when her parents died. She grieved a lot when Michael died, but it could maybe left her in like such a numb state that she just like, she doesn't even wonder what happens after death. She's just like, whatever, everybody dies and that's it.
I can see that. Okay, I'm good with that.
All right.
So we're about halfway through, guys. Stick it out. We're getting there.
Yeah.
We're doing the thing.
You usually prefer to be around others rather than on your own. I'm gonna say middle disagree.
Yeah, I think people who are not her family.
Right. Yeah. I think she's a family person, but I don't think she wants to be around too many other people.
Correct.
You become bored or lose interest when the discussion gets highly theoretical. I'm going to say hard disagree. I think that piques her interest.
I'm trying to think if she'd be one of those people who gets bored because people are just talking in circles and she's over it. She's like, you're not getting to a point kind of thing.
Right. But do you so for example, like a conspiracy theory or like just like analyzing the shit out of the end of a movie with an ambiguous ending. Like, do
I
you
think
think
she's
that
so rational. I'd be okay with like middle disagree.
middle disagree? Okay, middle disagree it is.
Okay. You find it easy to empathize with a person whose experiences are very different from yours. I would agree.
Yeah, I think she has empathy. I think she
Oh,
just
yeah.
has a problem. I think she just finds it hard to express her empathy or express her emotions. But I think
Mhm.
deep down, like she's an empathetic person. She's not a
Mhm.
psychopath.
No. Well, yeah, like because when she goes to get Jillian, Sally's never been beat the fuck up, but she's like, hey, like she's being super gentle with this fragile little broken egg, you know? The next question is, you usually postpone finalizing decisions for as long as possible.
She pretty much knows what she wants, and I think she wants to just get it in the bag and get it done and out of the way.
Hmm. Hmm.
All right, so you rarely second guess the choices you have made.
I would
Yeah,
do baby or middle disagree.
you rarely.
I think she second guesses because like regret. I don't know. Do you think she's like, I should have never maybe moved in with the aunts because then they would have never put the spell on me for Michael? And like, I don't know. Or regrets not giving her daughters like the option to learn about magic safely, you know? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many thoughts and feelings that are probably floating around there.
Mhm.
We can only speculate, but if I'm gonna go with like if we're saying that she's a Virgo and she kind of like has all her ducks in a row, she kind of knows and she's got that inner intuition, like she knows what her gut is saying is the truth. So
I would be willing to do baby agree.
baby agree. Okay, all right, baby agree. Oh, after a long and exhausting week, a lively social event is just what you need. Hard disagree.
Fuck no. It's crazy that people do pick agree. To me, I'm
I
like,
know.
absolutely not.
Yeah, same. That's why we're introverts, girl. That's why.
I'll be right back. I'll be right back. If I let you in, you have to come and lay down, okay? Come on in. You gotta come lay down. Sorry. I might kick the dog out. If he does clickety clap around, he's going out. Do you enjoy going to art museums? I'm going to agree.
Yeah, I agree.
You often have a hard time understanding other people's feelings. Baby to middle disagree, in my opinion.
Yeah. All right, baby disagree.
Okay.
Okay. You like to have a to-do list for each day. Hard agree.
Mm-hmm.
You rarely feel insecure. I think she feels insecure all the time.
All the time. Hard disagree.
Hard disagree.
You avoid making phone calls. I'm going to put middle agree.
I was gonna say that too.
Okay.
Yeah, because ultimately she made that phone tree call at the end. She kind of like, put her
Begrudgingly
big-
had
yeah,
to.
she put her big girl pants on and she made that
She
call.
sure
because
did.
She knew she had to. So,
Yeah.
but I think she does avoid making them at all costs, but she will if she has to. So I agree. Middle agree.
Awesome. You often spend a lot of time trying to understand views that are very different from your own.
I think I would put middle agree.
Okay. I think because she's so ostracized for having those different views, anybody else, she's like, absolutely, you do you, buckaroo, like, be happy.
Yeah. No, yeah, I see that totally. In your social circle, you are often the one who contacts your friends and initiates activities. I'm gonna go with middle agree because she's the one that.
Just in that one scenario, though.
Yeah,
In your
but
social circle.
maybe that was the beginning of a lifelong I guess start of maybe that was the start of her coven. Maybe
Oh my God, what if that like that was her kicker that makes her that really annoying person that's like, you want to come over? Like she total flip of a switch, and now she's just like, what are you doing? And they're like, I'm working. I didn't inherit this fucking massive house with no mortgage, Sally. I have to work.
What if she's at like the end of the craft where she's like, so do you want to like come over and sometime and like call the corners?
Yeah. Oh, so sweet. I gotta, dude, I'm feeling more disagree. I feel like if she's like set in her routine and like her kids, getting her kids to school, going to work, gardening, like she's sticking with that. Somebody's gonna have to pull her out to go do shit.
Yeah, you're right. You're probably right. I'm only going by that one scene because she was the one who called everybody to come over, but that was only on a dire need basis. Like on the daily, you're absolutely right. She ain't calling people. If your plans are interrupted, your top priority is to get back on track as soon as possible. Hard agree.
Yeah.
She needs to be on schedule.
You are still bothered by mistakes you made a long time ago. 100% agree.
Oh yeah, agree. She's still harboring a lot of that shit.
You rarely contemplate the reasons for human existence or the meaning of life. This is kind of like that death one.
Yeah, neutral.
Oh, my
Your-
dog is farting up a storm. You're nasty.
Emotions control you more than you control them. I would have to agree, maybe middle agree, or no, I would maybe disagree. I think she has
Yeah, I
her
would do
emotions-
disagree.
I think she has her emotions under lock and key. That's why we never see them.
Yeah. Medium?
Yeah, medium.
Okay.
You take great care not to make people look bad, even when it is completely their fault.
Well, she doesn't do this in front of anybody, but she definitely calls Jillian out for me, my, it's always about you.
Yeah,
know?
but it took a lot of button pushing for her to get to that point.
That is true.
You know, and then also in the apothecary shop scene, when Dwight comes in and he blames her for selling him a shitty product, she kind of lets him know real quietly on the download that it's his own fault.
Yeah.
It gives him
She
that look,
gently.
she gives him that look. So I'm gonna say
Yes.
she doesn't want to make people look bad, but she kind of lets them know on the download that they fucked up.
Yeah, middle agree. Hard
Middle.
agree.
Yeah.
Okay.
You take great care. Because I mean, she did call him out, but she kind of just like gave him that look and didn't take it any further. So she didn't try to embarrass him, but she firmly let him know that, it's
You're a
your
fucking idiot.
yeah. All right, we'll go with middle agree.
Mm-hmm. Your personal work style is closer to spontaneous bursts of energy than organized, consistent efforts. Disagree.
Agree. Yeah, hard disagree.
When someone thinks highly of you, you wonder how long it would take them to feel disappointed in you. Ooh,
I agree.
I would say agree too.
Yeah, I feel like that whole time Gary was there, she was like second guessing everything.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You will love a job that requires you to work alone most of the time. I would say agree, other than the fact that she works at the apothecary shop, but at the apothecary shop, she only really has like 2 girls working there that she's like super close with.
Yeah, I think I do like baby agree, because if she wanted to be alone, she might have like a cubicle or a remote job, but she's like service. She's a service to the town.
Yeah, she's
So
serving
sees
the
town people all the
general.
time.
Yeah, she's serving the general public, right? So she would have to be okay with being around people, I guess.
Yeah.
You believe that pondering abstract philosophical questions is a waste of time. Does this go back to the death question, the meaning of life? Like,
Yeah. Neutral.
yeah, I don't know why I'm feeling very neutral for her for all of these like really
The pondering ones. If somebody's talking to her in a conversation, I think it's a different story, but on her own, I don't think she's wasting her time.
right. Okay.
You feel more drawn to places with busy, bustling atmospheres than quiet, intimate places. I disagree.
Disagree. Absolutely.
And you know at first glance how someone's feeling. Strong agree. I think that's just her witchy.
She's very into
notion.
Yeah. All right. This is our last page, I think. We're at 90%.
Woo!
So you often feel overwhelmed. I'm gonna say agree.
Yeah.
I think she always kind of feels this like heavy weight on her shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
Like, is
that's
she doing right by her daughters? Is she taking care? Because, like, I don't know what that house would look like without her there. You know what I mean? Who's cleaning that house? Anytime I play this in The Sims, I have to hire a maid because nobody wants to do the cleaning.
Beyonce doing it, but I'm pretty sure in the book it said there's like dust on everything. Nobody ever dusts, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
That would drive me fucking crazy.
Yeah.
So you complete things methodically without skipping over any steps. Hard agree.
Agree.
Do you agree?
You are intrigued by things labeled as controversial. Disagree. She wants to be normal as fuck.
Yeah, I would say disagree.
You would pass along a good opportunity if you thought someone else needed it more. I agree.
Yeah, she's a people pleaser. She'd be like, no, you take it. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. You struggle with deadlines. Disagree. I think she's like,
Mhm. Mhm.
And this is the last one. You feel confident that things will work out for you.
Disagree. Medium to little baby.
Baby disagree. Baby disagree. All right.
I don't know how much confidence she has. Baby disagree. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're going to take a little bit of a break. And when we come back, we will reveal to you what personality type is Sally Owens. Be right back.
Boop. You're listening to the Magnolia Street Podcast. Welcome back, witches. Are you ready to find out what personality type
Are we
Sally
ready?
Owens is?
Drum roll, please. All right. Yeah. Sally Owens is An advocate. She's an INFJT. Advocates are quiet visionaries, often serving as inspiring and tireless idealists. I'm going to screenshot this. Hold on.
She is 87% percent introverted. Introverted individuals tend to prefer fewer yet deep and meaningful social interactions and often feel drawn to calmer environments.
So energy-wise, Sally is 61% intuitive, which that means that intuitive individuals are very imaginative, open-minded, and curious. They value originality and focus on hidden meanings and distant possibilities. So this means since she's 61% intuitive, she's 39% observant.
As far as Sally's nature, she is 60% feeling, and the opposite of feeling in this regard is thinking. So she's 40% thinking. Feeling individuals value emotional expression and sensitivity. They place a lot of importance on empathy and social harmony and cooperation. That's that people-pleasing thing there.
Okay, so oh
damn,
wow.
I know.
Holy shit. So her tactics, she is 100% judging, 0 prospecting. So judging individuals are decisive, thorough, and highly organized. They value clarity, predictability, and closure, preferring structure and planning to spontaneity. And I could totally see Sally being 100% all of this.
Judging. So do you think because when we were discussing like the theoretical, like her thinking, we picked almost no every single time?
Maybe
that's what put her in like the constant judging.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe.
I'm sure a lot of this is going to be skewed because, you know, we're not her. We're just kind of speculating from the outside looking in, like what we think she would have chosen in certain situations. But this is just like what I see from the outside. I see her as very thorough, very organized. She likes predictability. Anything veering off of that kind of throws her off her balance and kind of throws her for a loop, and she kind of has a little bit of a meltdown if things go a little awry.
I'd be interested to we're going to put all of this in our notes, and y'all get on the Patreon get our notes, but if you want to take the test as Sally, I want to know like what you think she would get. If it's something totally different, let us know the percentages you get. So in her identity little quadrant here, she is 76% turbulent, and opposite that is 24% assertive. Turbulent individuals are self-conscious and sensitive to stress. They feel a sense of urgency in their emotions and tend to be success-driven. Stress-driven.
Well, that too.
Perfectionists and eager to improve. The percentages I got, so like we said, I think we got the same thing Sally got. So we are both advocates.
So there's INFJA and INFJT. So this little link says, what's the difference? So
where am I?
Yes, the core theory, the assertive advocate INFJA versus turbulent advocate INFJT. It says, while assertive INFJA and turbulent INFJT advocates are likely to be more alike than different, their identity personality trait provides some nuanced dissimilarities between the two. It impacts the way each thinks, acts, and responds to their worlds to a significant extent. Assertive advocates are more likely to be confident and relaxed. Turbulent advocates are likely to question themselves more and are ordinarily more sensitive to stressors. She was turbulent, right? We said turbulent. To discover more about the general differences between assertive and turbulent identities, please visit their overview page. 74% of assertive advocates feel like they effectively manage the stress in their lives compared to 28% of the turbulent advocates. So according to this, Sally does not handle stress very well.
Could say that.
Can you say that? Yeah. So are you a turbulent advocate? Check out Turbulent Advocate Superpowers at the bottom of this article for the deepest insight into who you are.
What's our superpower?
Let's see. So it says turbulent and assertive advocates and the people in their lives. All advocate individuals decide matters primarily by filtering them through their feelings, and their decisions often reflect the value they place on their morality. How they think about people and what they're going through is a defining factor of their personality type. But turbulent advocates are likely to turn empathizing with others up a notch when compared to assertive advocates. So I guess Sally is more empathetic than your typical assertive advocate. Turbulent advocates often let their passions lead them to great accomplishments. These are fueled by their regard for the people in their lives and concern for moral and idealistic issues. They can become overly involved in the problems of others. We saw that with when she got all involved up in
All involved in a crime.
in Chili's mess. Yeah. This involvement might even generate a kind of hyper empathy where these personalities identify too much with those they seek to help. Is that not freaking true? If turbulent advocates become invested and they are not able to help to the degree they think they should, turbulent self-criticism can be excessively harsh. They can sink into brooding and become miserably mired in worry and regret. So maybe like she feels like she has to go to the extent of committing this goddamn crime, because if she doesn't help her sister to that extent, I think she would feel a lot of guilt about it, and that I think that would eat her up for a really long time.
Yeah, her first option though was going to the police.
Right.
That was her first choice.
Yes. So Martin Luther King, Nelson Mandela, Mother Teresa, Marie Kondo, Lady Gaga, Nicole Kidman.
Interesting.
Snow. Some of these are characters. Some of these aren't even actual people. Aragorn from Lord of the Rings.
Hell yeah.
Galadriel. I'm not really a Lord of the Rings fan. Galadriel. Tom Kirkman. Rose.
Who's that?
Rose Bukater from Titanic.
As I said, Justina and I are both INFJTs. That's a fuckload of letters. And so again, that is turbulent advocates are introverted, intuitive, feeling, judging, and turbulent. And I don't really remember Sally's percentages, but I was 83% introverted. I was 72% intuitive, 66% feeling, 65% judging, and 67% turbulent, which I'm like, makes perfect sense. Makes sense to me.
Yeah, my introverted was very high. I scored a 90.
You are so high.
Yeah, this is like
which is surprising because you go play at like open mics and shit and have no problem being on camera, but I guess going up and talking to people you don't.
I find it very hard to just go up and start a conversation with a stranger. Like I get really all up in my head, my hands clam up. I'm like, oh my god, I'm really fucking stupid.
Oh, you're not.
I think that's probably why I come off. I've had people in the past tell me that I'm very intimidating. Like people don't like coming up to me, because maybe I'm very standoffish. And I don't mean to come off that way. I'm just like, I don't fear people. Like I really do enjoy conversation and I really do enjoy meeting people, but there has to be some other greater thing at play that kind of starts up that conversation.
Justina, you're like a spider. Like people are you're more afraid of people than they should be of you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and you need to be treated very delicately and gently. Don't startle Justina.
That's exactly how it is with me. It's so strange. I was 91% introverted, 9% extroverted. Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, I don't have a problem carrying on a conversation. I'm a social person, but just on my terms.
Yeah. Yes.
Right. So the introverted doesn't necessarily mean that I don't like talking to people at all. Like I love talking to people. Otherwise I wouldn't have been like, hey, let's start a fucking podcast and talk for hours today on end.
Yeah.
But it's got to be.
But it's on your terms. It's something you like to talk about, and it's somebody you get along with.
Exactly. So whenever there's a party or something, and I feel like I'm being dragged to the party, I go begrudgingly, and I kind of clam up, and I don't really talk to anybody, especially if it's people that I don't know. If it's not my people's, it's not my party.
If it's not my people's, it's not my party.
I don't want to fucking be there. And it's like that Instagram reel of that I wanna go.
Yeah. That's you.
I'm in the corner and I'm like, I want to go the fuck home. Meanwhile, Avi, on the other hand, he's a social butterfly. He could just flutter around at a party and just start up a conversation with anybody. And I'm like, how do you fucking do that? Can you teach me?
Yeah.
Sometimes I get annoyed with myself that I am this way, because I want to be. Part of me wants to be that social butterfly, but I'm just like, I don't know what it is. I just get all up in my head about it.
What's that line in Fight Club? To me, for us as introverts, making friends and being empathetic, you have so much energy filtering out, but also filtering in, you're picking up on everybody's shit. So going to a party sounds fucking awful, because maybe it's because I don't know how to filter that out, but what was I going to akin it to? Oh, in Fight Club, when they talk about that, I think this is my second reference on the show to Fight Club. I don't watch this movie, but how they, what do they call them? single serving friends or something like that.
Mhm.
I don't, to me, my energy is more important than, which is awful to say, because that's how you meet new people and make new friends.
Right.
And I have social butterfly friends that have huge swaths of friendships.
But you know what though? Maybe that's why me and you are so like stress-free, because we guard our energy very well.
Mhm.
Like we only let certain people in who we know are going to have like add value to our lives. Everybody else can go fuck right off.
I just when I was married to my military husband, of course all his friends are military and they are all married also.
Yeah.
People move around all the time, and I like broke down once or twice because I was trying to connect with all these military wives and like make friends, and people move. It happens. But
Yeah.
I was like, why am I even bothering?
Yeah.
Why am I even bothering trying to make friends if they're just going to leave?
Right.
You know? So that's where I was.
Yeah. It's kind of like, it's abandonment. It's,
Exactly.
It's just, exactly. I've had the same experience with friends, growing up, people walking in and out of your life. I guess that's why I kind of like adopted that mentality. Like friendships are a revolving door. People come in, people go out. And I don't take it personally anymore. Like I used to take it very personally if a friend like betrayed me or like things, didn't work out or whatever. But now I'm just kind of like, okay, that person was put into my life to teach me a valuable lesson. I learned my lesson. On to the next person who's actually going to add value back into my life.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I have had to look at it. So I don't get so, I guess, bitter and resentful about not opening my heart up to those new friendships, because I'm afraid that, that'll happen again.
You have taught me a lot this year. I really appreciate you. I don't know if you know how much I appreciate you, because it is.
Yeah.
It's hard losing people like that. And you're like, girl, it happens. It's fine. They were there for the amount of time you needed them. Yes, you have history. Honor that and get the fuck over it. You don't say get the fuck over it, but you're like,
I try to put it
you
as
could do
gentle
this.
as I can, but I am a Sagittarius. So if I am too blunt, I apologize.
No. You're not at all. I appreciate you very much.
But
And
it's a tough love,
Oh yeah, 100%. I feel that. I feel it. And you've never said get over it. It is so supportive, and I know it allows for new energy to come in, and you're exactly right. And like nobody teaches you that, because like in grade school, you're BFFs, best friends forever. With
the heart necklaces, the half and the half, the heart necklaces.
Right.
The Tanae and
the Shasti. As a kid, you're just taught like, and same with marriages, like it's one and done. That's forever. If you're in my life, you're in my life forever. No, that's not how it works. So thank you for your support.
It's a revolving door. That's how I have to look at life to kind of cope with loss, because it happens. Yeah. So energy, 83% intuitive, 17% observant, nature, 48% thinking, 52% feeling, tactics, 54% judging, 46% prospecting, and identity is 31% assertive, 69% turbulent. So Sally, I'm with you there, girl, on that high turbulence.
I'm 76% turbulent.
So how does that affect stress? Oh my God.
Oh girl, I don't. I'm just stressed all the time.
Yes.
So the other thing we got in store for you guys, I'd never heard of this before. The first time I heard of this was on probably the Witch Bitch Amateur Hour, but an Enneagram I'd never heard of before. Had you?
I had never heard of it before either. And now that I've heard of it, I keep hearing about it. What is that
really
called? There's a name for that.
Yeah.
Right? Like when you've never heard of something, and then once you hear about it, it just keeps popping up.
Yeah, something bias.
Something,
I don't know.
I don't remember, but that's what's happening now. And now I'm seeing it everywhere. And I'm like, is this something new? Like, what is this? I was going through the Wabaz Patreon video catalog yesterday, and they were reading Charlie's Enneagram, where she gets roasted by the
oh my gosh. So the thing is, we found one for Sally. Somebody had done hers, but Justina and I couldn't find a site to have a free one done. So I'm wondering, where Charlie got hers processed through, because we can find one.
I'm wondering if they actually paid for theirs, because every single site that I found, you have to pay for it. Your results fucking suck. So
you want to tell us what an Enneagram is? Because there's some Greek down there, and I'm not feeling Greek today. No for me.
I'll try to be Greek, but we'll see how it goes. So the Enneagram ENNEAGRAM is a system of personality typing that describes patterns in how people interpret the world and manage their emotions. The Enneagram describes 9 personality types and maps each of these types on a 9-pointed diagram, which helps to illustrate how the types relate to one another. The name Enneagram comes from, it's the Greek word for 9, and gramma means something that's drawn or written, which makes sense. Grammar, right? It's like,
Oh, yeah.
basically.
Interesting.
This Enneagram, I guess, was done by this person who runs this blog. What is this site? funkymbti.com. And this whole blog post is all about Sally's Enneagram.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if they do the whole site or they have different people doing different characters, but the author of this one's name is Charity. Somebody named Charity created the Enneagram for Sally. So they also did, it looks like they did the Myers Briggs. ISFJ is the Myers Briggs. So in their opinion, she's an ISFJ.
So
and her Enneagram is 6W5.
Okay. So 6W5 SP/SO,
Right.
are way more fearful of loss of resources than 6W5S SO/SP. So SP/SO is the first one. SO/SP is the one that they're comparing her to. Who are more approachable and have a more obvious sense of humor. The SP/SO 6W5 is the chronic over-preparing, 6 somewhat fearful of loss of finances, safety, etc. So over-focusing on making sure that they are safe at all times, prepared for whatever lies ahead, or delving into the 5 wing, which is minimizing all my outer resource needs, so I am dependent on nothing. I could totally see that about Sally.
Mm-hmm.
The SO/SP 6W5 is more community-oriented, good-natured, and doesn't take loss of resources as life or death, just something they can fix later if need be.
So they have her as introverted, sensing, feeling, and judging. And we had her introverted.
Yeah, INFJT.
INFJT. Okay, we're back on track.
All right.
Says, so Sally is afraid, so she tries to check out of life, quote unquote, by refusing to participate in the things normal people do, like falling in love, until her aunts cast a spell over her that kind of loosens her up a bit. Though she wants and craves love, she admits to Jillian that she just can't have it. She is cautious and proactive, always thinking about the next possible bad thing. I don't want to leave my children. I don't want to go to jail. She doesn't experiment with her magic. She doesn't use it at all, much at all, really.
So she doesn't experiment with her magic or use it much. She doesn't want to go against the aunt's advice to raise somebody from the dead.
Okay. Oh, okay. She is responsible where her sister is irresponsible, the reliable girl who stayed home, but her entire focus is on family, loyalty, and protecting herself and her sister. She feels insulted when drunk Jillian reads her lifeline and says that she can have all these things. She could have all these things, a handsome lover, etc. And ooh la la, he is big. If she were not so scared all the time. Man, when Jilly calls her out at the end, you're wasting yourself, Sal. I love it. Mm-hmm. Fear does run her life, but she also takes risks and runs toward it with a man who says curses can not hurt you unless you believe in them.
Yeah.
And he did.
But
not yet.
Not in the movie. He could still be alive in the movie world.
We'll stay in the movie world.
Happily ever after in the movie world.
Right.
But like Alice is ruthless. She killed him right off. I'm not sure how much this would coincide with our Myers Briggs test, because we both got Slytherin and we also both got INFJT, right?
Right. So I wonder if she's a Slytherin also.
I'm wondering if she's also a Slytherin.
So date of birth. Hers was supposedly Halloween, but it was like 1973 or something like that.
73. Wait, this asks for your birthday?
Yeah.
Oh shit. So maybe it is like a Myers Briggs.
Oh, choose between moon or stars. I think she'd choose a moon.
Hands down. She would choose the moon. Only that
moon.
Right. Only that moon, Jilly.
Choose a category to continue. Cats, toads, or owls?
Well, if we're going by the book, she had the connection with birds. But if we're going by the movie, I would probably go with the cat.
Okay.
And toads means Jimmy, so fuck toads.
Okay. If you were attending Hogwarts, which pet would you choose to take with you? A ginger cat. I'm going to read them all. A ginger cat, a white cat, a Siamese cat, a tabby cat,
a black
cat. What kind of instrument most pleases your ear? The piano, the drum, the violin, the trumpet. Oh, that's it.
I would say the piano.
Okay.
I think Sally listens to a lot of like Beethoven and dark classical music.
Classic. Which of the following do you find most difficult to deal with? Loneliness, boredom, hunger, being ignored, or cold?
I would probably say loneliness, right? She feels like isolated a lot.
Yeah. I'm sorry for the mouse clicks in the background. Which of the following would you like to study most? Would you like to study merpeople, centaurs, werewolves, vampires, goblins, trolls, or ghosts?
Oh my God.
I think she would do ghosts.
You think so?
I feel like if she had the opportunity to like talk to Michael's ghost, absolutely.
Okay. All right. We'll go with
Which
ghost.
nightmare would frighten you the most? Standing on top of something very high and realizing suddenly that there are no hand or footholds, nor any barrier to stop you from falling.
Wow, that's a very in-depth answer.
Wow. Being forced to speak in such a silly tone that hardly anyone can understand you and everyone laughs at you.
I think
Being laughed at.
I would think it would be that one because she's got a very weak, I would say she has a very weak throat chakra. So anything relating to her voice, I feel like she would kind of like shy away from. I think that would be her worst nightmare.
But this, waking up to find neither your friends nor family have any idea who you are.
Ooh, that is pretty frightening.
It's a hard one. And then the last one is an eye in the keyhole of the dark windowless room in which you are locked in.
I think Sally would be okay with being locked in a room.
Yeah. So it's either her family not knowing her.
Yeah, because she kind of does that to herself anyway. She locks herself in her rooms. So that's her own kind of like imprisonment. So I don't think that's a nightmare to her. I think that's where she feels safe. So I would think it's either her family or the voice thing.
I think people laughing at her, I think she's used to.
Yeah. Okay. So probably the family then, because that's her world, right? That's the last thing she has left.
Right. How would you like to be known to history? As the great, the wise, the bold, or the good?
The good.
The good. Black or white?
White.
The Sorting Hat is ready to make its decision.
You think it's Slytherin?
I think it's Gryffindor.
Probably.
Hufflepuff. How about that? How about that?
You probably know that some of Hufflepuff's most renowned members include Nymphadora Tonks and Cedric Diggory. But did you know that Hufflepuff's house ghost, the Fat Friar, still resents the fact that he was never made a cardinal, or that Hufflepuff has produced the fewest dark wizards of any house at Hogwarts?
Interesting.
Yeah. So who else is dude, I'm a horrible Harry Potter fan. I don't know who any of these people are.
Well, Cedric, I only know because he was like the golden boy and then he gets got.
Is that Edward Cullen?
It is Edward Cullen.
Holy shit.
All right, we're going to figure out what her Patronus is. We are fucking meshing two worlds together here.
I know, this is awesome.
All right.
Ooh, I like this animation.
It's beautiful. Right, I think my Patronus was a Borzoi dog.
All right, just to explain what's happening on the screen right now. So if you guys want to go check out your own, to be sorted into your Hogwarts house, you can go to my.wizardingworld.com. And you can also get, the Patronus. It says the Patronus is a kind of positive force, a projection of the very things that feeds upon? What did that say?
I don't know. It disappeared.
A tree flew in front of it, so I don't know what the
Discover your Patronus. You can also be sorted into the house and figure out what your wand is, I suppose.
So I have a question. Is a Patronus kind of like a familiar? What is it? Is it an animal, right? A Patronus?
Yeah. It's like your power animal, or I don't know.
So
I'm not a Potter person. God damn it. I reloaded this for nothing. Thorn, leaf, blade.
Leaf. Yeah, leaf.
We were like floating through a forest and your cursor is like blue pixie dust. It's really pretty. It's nighttime.
Is it glitchy on your screen? Because it's
bone and blood.
Yeah. My blood.
It's not. I think it's just because it's trying to share. It's like the scene where Harry Potter summons his Patronus. It's like the winter lake scene. Okay. Think, sense, feel.
Sense, right?
Sense.
Yeah.
Ooh, pretty. Ooh, he's dancing. You're so close to a Patronus. Something's taking form.
What is it?
Safe, free.
Oh,
safe.
Dude, Sally is so easy to pinpoint.
Yeah. You're so close. Keep going. You just do. It looked like you headbutted your computer. Love, trust, hope.
Hope. I think she has a lot of hope.
Okay. I'll do it. You need to react more quickly. Try again.
What?
Oh, what the
Okay.
fuck?
Okay, so it gives us a second chance.
Listen, watch, touch. Watch.
Okay.
She's very observant.
This is taking so long.
It is. Click, drag, and release for your Patronus. Click, drag, release.
Ooh.
Oh, your Patronus is a bloodhound. How cute.
That's
A
cute.
bloodhound. Okay.
That's cute.
I feel like her and Michael would have a doggo.
Yeah, I'm surprised I never did.
All right. Should we do wand or do you want to keep what else we got? We got anything else?
Wand, it looks like, right?
All right. We're doing the find the wand.
Finding your wand is a rite of passage, it says.
If you can read these, go for it.
All right.
I'll just
so
pick
first
'em.
of all, would you describe yourself as average height, tall, short? I would say Sally's probably average, right? Would you say that? And your eyes, gray. She had gray in the book, right?
Gray.
We'll say gray. Which was the day on which you were born an even or an odd number? Well, according to that site, it said she was born on Halloween, so odd, right?
Odd number.
Do you most pride yourself on your determination, originality, imagination, optimism, resilience, kindness, or intelligence? Probably resilience.
Kindness. Oh,
You don't think she's resilient? Like after all the loss she went through, like she still has that hope to find love.
but do you think she prides herself in that?
I don't know. I don't know if
Resilience,
Sally. I don't know if
optimism.
Sally's a prideful. I don't think she's a prideful person.
I don't think so either.
I would say
Okay, we'll do resilience.
I would say resilience. Traveling alone down a deserted road, you reach a crossroads. Crossroads. Do you continue? Left towards the sea, right towards the castle, ahead towards the forest. Probably towards the sea, right? She has that connection with the water.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why I think she's also a water sign, because she has that connection with the water. And the pull of the tides with the ocean and the moon. Like I think she's also a very watery person, in her moon sign anyway, in her shadow aspect. Do you most fear fire, small spaces, darkness, isolation, or heights? Probably, I don't know if she fears isolation because she kind of isolates herself. Maybe fire, because fire is so spontaneous.
I would say like maybe darkness, like not like physical darkness, but like the darkness in others, maybe. If we have to pull it from somewhere.
Maybe because the aunts, think about it, when she wanted to bring Michael back, they said he would come back as something dark and unnatural, and that kind of hindered her away from it. So she kind of like went towards the light, and that's why she kind of like, when Jilly wanted to go there, she was like, are you sure?
Okay.
So I would say either fire or darkness. I think she's either afraid of spontaneity and drifting from the script, or
We'll do
that
fire.
okay. In a chest of magical artifacts, which would you choose? Silver dagger, ornate mirror, glittering jewel, bound scroll, golden key, dusty bottle, or black glove? She would probably choose maybe an ornate mirror.
That's what I was thinking too.
Because the mirror from scrying is a big part of the, was it Book of Magic? Rules of Magic, right? The scrying mirror was a big part of that. So maybe she had gotten it passed down as an heirloom.
Oh yeah. Yes, I agree. We have an elm wood with a unicorn core 11 and a half with supple flexibility. God damn.
What's it say on the bottom?
It says, Elmwood. The unfound belief that only pure bloods can produce magic from Elmwood was undoubtedly started by some Elm wand owner seeking to prove his own blood credentials. For I have known, who's I?
I don't know.
Who's writing this? For I have known perfect matches for Elmwood. Oh,
Mr. Ollivander, I think that's his quote on the bottom.
Got it. Perfect matches of Elm wands who are muggable wands. The truth is that Elm wands prefer owners with presence, magical dexterity, and a certain native dignity. Okay. Of all wood wands, Elm, in my experience, produces the fewest accidents. Oh, that's good to know. The least foolish errors and the most elegant charms and spells. These are sophisticated wands capable of highly advanced magic in the right hands, and then in parentheticals, which again makes it highly desirable for those who espouse the true blood philosophy. Did I say that right? Espouse?
I think so. But you
All
said
right, cool.
you said true blood.
True blood.
So
Delightful.
It looks like this is a foolproof wand. It has the least amount of foolish errors that are associated with. So I could definitely see Sally going with something a little foolproof, very little error involved. So I think she would definitely choose something a little more
Hermione, Lord Voldemort, and Albus Dumbledore all have this wand.
All right. That was
Cool, dude. All right. This is gonna be a big old one. I'm glad we stuck it out. Thank you for taking the time to do those. Those are fun.
Thank you guys for sticking with us through that very bountiful episode.
Yes. We are very excited to do more of these character analyses with you. And guys, we want to encourage you to go check out the polls that are over on our Patreon. If you become a patron, you can decide what we talk about next. We already have some votes on some December topics that are going to be coming up, and it makes our job. We have like over 100 different topics, and it's sometimes hard to choose.
I know.
And we tend to get a little biased, like, oh, I want to look into this, I want to look into this, but it doesn't necessarily. We want to know what y'all want. So
yeah,
people pleasers.
So yeah, definitely head on over to our Patreon if you want to be involved. And also, I just wanted to say a quick to anybody who's signing up for our Patreon page, we have it so as little as $1 you can get a shout out for joining our Patreon. The recording schedule is a little ahead, so you might not hear your name on the actual podcast on the show for a while. We will do our best to reach out to each and every one of you who sign up, just to send you a quick thank you and acknowledge that you are a patron, and we appreciate it so much. But it might be a few episodes before you hear your name on the podcast.
Tell us where they can find us. Tell us where they can find.
Tell them where they can find us. All right, so yeah, you guys can head on over to patreon.com/Magnolia Street Podcast to get in on those polls. And also, if you want all the show notes, all the very in-depth show notes that we have for today's episode, you can join our $3 tier and our little secret society. You have to upgrade to the $5, and then the $8 is we have the $8 is designated for our music, or all of the musics and the songs, but we have yet to do a song-a-sode. So
we are going to have one this month. It's written down. It's going to be right before Christmas, I think.
We do have one coming up, so sit tight. Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Okay, so we know we don't have any like song stuff up on the $8 tier yet, but I just kind of edited it a couple days ago to include that we will be including some really juicy bonus episodes and other kinds of audio visuals in the $8 tier to make it worth it for you guys while you guys are waiting for those song posts to come flying in on our Patreon page. So by the time you hear this, we will probably already have some juicy bonus episodes up for you guys, and maybe a meditation, maybe some kind of stuff for you guys to sink your teeth into until we get some songs out to you.
I'm loving like the shooting stuff over at Patreon. It's really fun. It's like all this extra like creativity that we talked about this, like doing YouTube, fine, it's fun. But now it's like getting to share. We know people love practical magic, and it's like its own hub where we can throw all of our practical magic creativity with our music, our art, our side stories, tons of good stuff over there. So
yeah. And Kristina's got a lot of little side stories, and she's been doing these really cool after hours posts. So after every episode, she kind of posts her little nuggets on there. I'm kind of bad at doing that.
My nuggets.
Maybe I'll get a little nugget up there soon, but
Awesome.
We did sit down recently and do like a whole like Salem recap and a tarot reading recap when I got that tarot reading done. So stuff like that, like stuff that really doesn't have anything to do with practical magic per se, but it's still a chance for you to get to know us on a deeper level. So we thought it would be cool to do a little bonus, like juicy bonus episodes. Like we're talking like good, like 2-hour long episodes where you guys can just sit with us while we just chit chat, shoot the shit about random cool stuff that's not necessarily practical magic, but you might want to hear it.
It's still magic.
That's it for today, right?
Yeah, man, you can find us on Instagram under @Magnolia Street Podcast. And we also have that private Facebook group for patrons, Magnolia Street Podcast, the Discord, Magnolia Street Podcast. Dude, I'm all about the Discord. You really turned me around. I was like, I don't know if I want to add one more social media to our list, but I'm like, fuck, this is gonna be sweet.
Yeah. Discord is better because I feel like not everybody is on Facebook all the time, but Discord's more of like a chat server. So
it's great.
People pop in and out throughout the day when they have the time, and like you can really get to chit chat with your patrons and people who are supporting you, like one-on-one, and it's a really cool and intimate way if you guys want to chit chat with us.
Leave us a little 5-star if you can.
Yes.
Oh, is that what you want to say? Go
Yeah,
for it.
yeah. Leave us a review, please, because your reviews help bump us up, I guess, in the algorithm, whether it's on Spotify or Apple. Spotify, I don't think you can leave written reviews, but Apple Podcasts you can. So, but both you can leave a star rating for sure. So definitely leave us something so we know that in and we get bumped up in that algorithm. So we get
help
pushed.
other practical magic lovers find us, because like they might be like us, like, why hasn't anybody done a practical magic podcast yet? And you can be like, bitch, check this out. Did we hit all the socials? I think we did. You can find all of our socials actually linked below, as well as where to find the books, the audiobooks, the movies. And then in our show notes below, there's always going to be a thing that says additional links, and that's going to take you right to all of our sources and quizzes and all the shit we use in the episode.
Right on.
Right on, Donkey Kong.
I think that's it for today.
This one's big.
It is. It's gonna be juicy. All right. You guys wanted this.
Always a pleasure, darling.
All right. We love you guys. Thank you for all your support. And we will see you guys in the next episode of Magnolia Street Podcast.
We'll see you next time.
At that house down the street, at that house on Magnolia Street, would you go down to Magnolia Street where there was mysterious